This is Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on My TV Charleston.
Low Country football fans, we welcome you into Philip Simmons High School, our host school this week. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, Jack DeLongshaw, alongside the legend, my colleague Everett German. Everett, we've got the state champion, reigning state champion, Beaufort Eagles. They come and they take on the Iron Horses. This is a matchup we've had circled for a long time.
Yeah, two solid football teams. We've seen Philip Simmons from afar, 6-0. Beaufort, of course, 4-2. This is our second time having them. I'm sure they've improved since week one. Should be a good ball game.
Beaufort, we saw them against Cane Bay in our first Friday Night Rivals series. This is a team that really has got a lot of experience in the back end. But Jaden Andrews, their running back, man, he has been a dog in the backfield.
Yeah, averaging over 100 yards on the ground. Of course, they'll have many guys carrying the football tonight for the Eagles, but he's kind of the head guy. He's the guy that if Beaufort wants to escape here with the win tonight, they'll have to get a big performance from him.
Andrews, he's a two-sport stud, but on the other side of the field, I'm telling you right now, he might be the most exciting corner in the state. I'm telling you right now, Troy Stevenson for Philip Simmons. Coach Bendick told us that secondary room may be the most important on their ball club.
Yeah, a young man already verbally committed to go to Georgia Tech. Long, lanky, 6'3". Matches up at the next level because you're seeing now 6'4", 6'5" wide receivers. So, yeah, that's the guy that kind of roams. He's the center fielder, the last line of defense, the most important part for this Iron Horse defense.
Troy Stevenson, I mean, he blankets one side of the football field. He's a special talent. But I'm telling you right now, a 3A state championship, not going to be crowned tonight, but today, a huge first region matchup between the two. The winner, they put themselves in the driver's seat. You're not going to want to go anywhere. It's Preferred Home Services. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Iron Horses, Eagles when we're back in just a few.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2. Thank you. Can y'all hear that breeze blowing behind us? Is it picking up in our mics? Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure because it's I mean, it's cool. I just wanted to make sure they didn't hear it. Woof, 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 woof.
I've got a pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I'll see, or give you hand signals. Even the scoreboard as well. You're gonna have to. Ooh, Tavian or okay. Okay. Right. Yoakum, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's the kid that got the 5th-year eligibility. Had cancer. Oh, wow. So he's. Hey, for some reason I'm getting an echo.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's national anthem is sponsored by South Carolina Veterans, helping veterans and their families thrive. I want to shout out the incredible color guard and band here at Philip Simmons. They've really helped set the move, and Friday night is officially underway. As we get this thing underway, we're going to kick it to Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers just north of Northwoods Wall. You've got a friend at Cruz Chevy. These are two really talented ball clubs. We've got to talk to these coaches this week. What's it going to take for them to walk away with a victory?
Yeah, well, first for Beaufort, they definitely have to be disciplined on defense. You got two outstanding running backs. Also, Philip Simmons can throw the football. So, again, you have to stay in your lane, be disciplined, and then best on best. That their front 11, their 11, starters against starters, they got to win that. For Philip Simmons, establish and stick with the run. This is a good Beaufort defensive team. You may not have success every time. You might not have success early on, but you have to stick with it and establish that run. And then trench memory. On the defensive side, they're going to hit you with some big plays because of all the misdirection that they run on offense. But lineman, offensive, defensive, you got to forget it. Next play mentality and just keep finishing throughout the game.
Familiar theme. Whoever wins in the trenches wins a pivotal first region matchup. 2 3A teams with aspirations of winning a state championship. Beaufort, a season ago, able to capture those dreams. The reigning state champions, they kick things underway, and it'll be Brendan Ford booting it away. A little pooch kick. Looks like it'll trickle out of bounds at around the 36. That's where Philip Simmons will take over.
Yeah, last year, you think about it, Philip Simmons, their only region loss came to Beaufort on their way to the state title. So Beaufort got the win last year, 34-14. The Iron Horses looking for a little payback.
See head coach Eric Bendig's group, 7th year of their program. This is how they'll line up tonight. Tavion Orellana, we talked about the stud. Troy Stevenson will play a little wide out, but these running backs, KJ Asbury and Sherrod Williams, they're different.
I'd say you got two guys about to be over 1,000 yards running the football. KJ already with 1,062 coming into tonight. And then you got Sherrod Williams with 837. You don't see that every day on any level. Two guys rushing for over 1,000 yards.
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Preferred Home Services. Go Preferred, the company highly referred defensively. The big fellas up front, Adrian Lamb, Jaden Simmons, Keon Rivers. Will Cotting is a crazy linebacker. He's a coach's dream.
He's a guy that just runs sideline to sideline, the kind of the quarterback of that defense. Saw him in week 1 against Cane Bay. We said his name often that night, and I expect to say it often again tonight.
59 tackles for Cotting. How about 44 of them of the solo variety? He's going to have a busy afternoon as Philip Simmons. They're going to look to run. They're going to run often. That's Sherrod Williams for about a gain of 7. And tonight's first down is brought to you by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. 2 plays, 2 carries, 2 different backs. They're really, really good.
Yeah. And right on time, Will Cotting getting his first tackle of the night. But, yeah, you're right. Almost take your pick. And that's a luxury for Eric Bendig, Coach Bendig, when you have 2 horses, no pun intended, that you can give the ball to either one and you're not going to lose anything. So, yeah, we'll get a lot of the big duo tonight.
Both of them tough as iron, pun intended. And go back to the ground. That little handoff to KJ Asbury. You saw the quarterback, Tavion Orellana, comes into this contest with a 120 QBR. He hasn't been asked to do a whole lot this season. Coach Bendig kind of joked with us a little bit how he didn't really care that he hasn't thrown the ball around the ballpark yet. He's 18-31, 58% passer completion, but I mean, this is a guy, team first. The run is working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, it seems like that's the kind of the attitude of the entire offense, whether it be the offensive linemen, both running backs. They love blocking for each other. They get excited when each of them have success. That's the type of mentality you want from your football team.
A little bit of a different look now as they're going to go out of a little bit of a wildcat look. That's Asbury that catches the direct snap. He's got enough for about a 17-yard gain. It's another Mr. Sparky's first down, and talk about creativity on the Beaufort defensive side of the ball. Coach Bendig, he's going to get these running backs the ball in open space anyway, anyhow.
Yeah, KJ Asbury, we were talking about his accolades early on. A fine young man. That's his 85th carry of the season. How about this, Jack? Averaging almost 13 yards a carry when he gets the football in his hands. Good things seem to happen on that. Another Mr. Sparky first down.
We're going to brag on Asbury all night. Told you, he's already eclipsed 1,000 yards. They got really 2 talented backs. That's, again, Sherrod Williams. Asbury, though, both of them with aspirations of playing at the next level. And for me, Asbury, he's the first 1,000-yard rusher in the history of the Iron Horses. But I got to ask you, the ability to be able to take a couple plays off, because you got a really excellent counterpoint in Sherrod Williams as well. Yeah,
and you think about it, both of them are in the backfield at the same time. So it's kind of hard to really scheme because you don't know which one is going to obviously get it. And then they do such a nice job of blocking for each other. So it's kind of somewhat of a nightmare for a defensive coordinator having to defend and prepare for both of those guys. And then, of course, the ability of the Iron Horses to throw the football as well.
Back to the shotgun. He's joining the backfield. This time it's Asbury. Bounces it to the outside before he's tackled. Nice play. It's number 21, Isaac Smalls, just a sophomore. Smalls does a great job of containing the outside.
Yeah, Smalls very aggressive on his approach, not afraid to come up and make the tackle. If you're a cornerback and you're a head coach, that's what you like to see. Guys, usually they're in the secondary, not their favorite thing to do to tackle, but obviously in that situation, Mr. Smalls had no problems doing that, forcing a third down for Philip Simmons.
Go for a different look. It's Brody Tonin, the tight end running off the field. That's actually Bryce Smalls, the linebacker, looking to do some heavy running. Do they run behind him at the bottom of your screen? It's Williams in action. Asbury takes the dig. Will he have enough for a first down? Looks like he's got about 4, maybe 5. Should move the chains.
They've been going to that formation already several times on this opening drive. A nice job of gives you an extra blocker when you can directly snap it right to your running back. And again, as you mentioned, actually looks like, Jack, they're going to mark him about a yard short. So 4th down here. Let's see what Coach Bendig decides to do. His first early decision of the night.
A little presumptuous of me to assume, especially when Asbury, like you said, picking up 13 at pop, figured he fell forward. You can see I was a little surprised to see Bryce Smalls. He's a captain linebacker. He's a stud in that second level for the defense. He's out to block again at the bottom of your screen. He's joined in the backfield by Asbury. To the Eagles, bend, don't break, as the Iron Horses near the red zone. Asbury takes the snap, trucks forward for about a gain of 5. This time it's plenty enough for a first down. The drive up front, enough to continue.
And both coaches commented on it, Jack. The trench is so important, the offensive line, defensive line. That time, Philip Simmons able to basically reestablish the line of scrimmage 2 or 3 yards down the field. And when you have that type of initial push and then that continued drive, you're going to pick up 4 or 5 yards every time. So nice job by Philip Simmons.
We've heard a lot about these running backs. It's the offensive line that really anchors this group. They're running behind that big right guard. You've seen him go behind. That's Russell Dickerson, senior captain, 6 foot, 210, great size, but can really get off the rock. This time they bounce it to the outside. Sherrod Williams for about a gain of 3, but this is a young offensive group. Only one senior on the offensive line from left to right. Quamaine Vaughn, Taiwan Gibbs, Daniel Scarth, Russell Dickerson, that senior I mentioned, and Stephen Pickard. But I'm telling you right now, 3 sophomores and a junior up front. As you see that with Sherrod Williams on the outside, obviously not Will Cotting with the big-time tackle on the other side of the football, but youth on the up front for the Iron Horses, but they don't play young.
Right, and of course, this is a team that these kids have played together for some time. I still consider Philip Simmons to kind of be the new guy in the area, and they've done a nice job of really gelling this team, those guys growing up together and really getting a feel for each other.
White bouncing, that's a big one. Ooh, if he could stay on his feet. KJ Asbury, he was eyeing down touchdown number 16. You can see he's upset, but again, enough to enter the TEC equipment rental red zone. They just dominated up front.
Yeah, that's one that he probably wanted to come to like a jump stop, then kind of, shift off to the right. But you're right, had he been able to keep his balance, definitely would have been 6 for the Iron Horses. Got to tell you, Jack, a very impressive opening drive here for Philip Simmons.
And really different to the matchup we had last week. Look at that clock. I mean, they've controlled the rock for close to 6 minutes. We saw 40 combined points in the first quarter a week ago between Fort Dorchester and Gaffney. We knew about the rushing attack. Everyone in the ballpark knew they were going to try to run the football. They didn't be able to do so. It's Asbury again. Rumbling, stumbling. Looks like he's going to be taken down at around the 2. Sure enough, they're going to have him spotted actually at the 1 yard line. And right now, that defensive front for Beaufort has had no answers.
None at all. That push has been outstanding. And, you talk about the success of any football team, it is the line. And this, so far on this opening drive, it has been all Philip Simmons. They got to get one more push to get the first score of the night.
Well, fullback right now is Josh Gann, another middle linebacker. They hand it back off to Asbury. Can he fall forward? Textbook Philip Simmons. They drained about 7 minutes off the clock. Asbury dives in for his 16th touchdown of the year. That touchdown brought to you by Trident Technical College. Your future, your college, the future at Cape beyond bright.
You could not ask for a better opening drive, a better start to this football game if you're Eric Bendig. Didn't have to put the ball in air at all. all rushing down the field. I'm sure he challenged this offensive line in the pregame to come out, dominate, set the tone. That's exactly what they did. Heck of a job by that offensive line of Philip Simmons.
Snappers Gunnar Yoakum, the holder, Colton Kellerman, and the kicker Sam Crocker. It's up, it's good, it's Phillips 7, it's Beaufort 0 with 33 in the first quarter. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Come on, it's the Iron Horse back in just a few. Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack DeLongshaw alongside my colleague Everett German, our third member of the crew, Trooper Bob, down on the sidelines. We'll see him in just a bit. But coming into this matchup, he understood both of these teams. It's kind of like looking themselves in the mirror. They both want to dominate on the ground. And right there, just a beautiful clinic put on display by that Philip Simmons offensive front.
I tell you what, Jack. Coach Bendig told us they let the offensive linemen eat first on meal prep on Thursday and Friday because of the job that they do. At that rate, those linemen are getting steaks next week because you could not do it better. If you had to draw it up, you could not draw it any better. What an opening drive by Philip Simmons.
It's booted away by Sam Crocker. The receiving end for Beaufort is number 21, Isaac Smalls. He'll return it to about the 22. And that's why we'll introduce you to the Beaufort offense for the first time tonight. At quarterback, a junior. He captained this team to a state championship a year ago, Samari Bonds. The uber-talented back, Jaden Andrews. But the guy that we've really been kind of obsessed with a little bit after that first week one matchup was L.A. So Smooth, Adrian Lamb. That's his nickname. This is a big body, 6'5", 300 pounds, but he moves like butter.
Yeah, he's got great on his feet, like you said, Jack. A big body. Definitely has an opportunity to play at the next level. Tonight is a great opportunity for him to showcase what he could do in the LOWCOUNTRY.
See, for the first time tonight, Samari Bonds takes a snap. They go to a little bit of a jet sweep action. That was the junior Eric Smart. He was tackled about a 2-yard loss. The defensive side of the football, brought to you by Preferred Home Services. A lot of guys will look at the story of Gunnar Yoakum, incredible. But Josh Gant and Bryce Smalls, these linebackers, so talented. Nevertheless, not speak about the stud, the absolute beast in the secondary, Troy Stevenson.
Yeah, Troy Stevenson kind of anchors that defense, but you're right, the linebackers, you allow them to be free, to flow, get to the football. It all starts with those defensive linemen, keeping the offensive line off the backs.
That's Andrews for about a 3-yard pickup. We need to talk about those linebackers. Troy Stevenson, he's a Georgia Tech commit. He's received a ton of Power 5 offers, and rightfully so. But these linebackers, Bryce Smalls, he's got 101 tackles in the season already. Josh Gant, playing middle linebacker right next to him, how about 94 tackles? And you'll see here Jaden Andrews, the two-sport star, our player to watch tonight. He's going to have his hands full trying to break a lot of those linebacker tackles. Before we can see the 3rd and 7, it looks like we had our first yellow hanky of the night.
Dead ball, encroachment, offense number 79, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And Jack, those are the type of mental mistakes, unforced error. Just you have to watch the football, line up on side. When you're playing a quality opponent like Philip Simmons, and Philip Simmons obviously playing Beaufort, those are the things you just can't afford to give up 5 yards. You already had 3rd and 7. Now you're behind the sticks. 3rd and 12 is going to make it more difficult. But the one thing that we have seen, and we saw a lot in week 1, this Beaufort team can put the ball in the air. Troy Stevenson may actually get some action tonight because the Beaufort Eagles will probably throw his way.
I mean, he was a play to watch because he's a superstar, but also Coach Bendig let us know, hey, man, this is a team that loves to run the football, but people don't throw to his side of the field. They think that Samari Bonds is a real threat in the air. We'll see him in action for the first time. They go to a little bit of a bubble screen. It's Jaden Andrews. They get the yards they lost on the encroachment for the Philip Simmons Iron Horses. It's enough to get off the field. About a 6-yard pickup on the screen from Bonds to Andrews, but the Iron Horses 3 and out.
And you love that call. That should maybe slow down the pass rush of Philip Simmons. You know it was 3rd and long. You knew they were coming. Nice job of just throwing that screen. Just unfortunately could not really get his lineman set up in front of him to come up with the block.
So William Kieserling, our scholar athlete, our thumbs up guy, scholar athlete, looking to boom it away. Waiting for it is KJ Asbury. You know he's a threat with any time the ball in hand. End over end, Asbury look to wait for it. That ball is going to roll back to the 50. And the Iron Horses break field position again. Just 2:58 in the first quarter. It's been all Philip Simmons dominating on the ground. Iron Horses 7, Beaufort nothing. We'll be back in a few. We welcome you back into beautiful host site Philip Simmons High School. The first region matchup of the year, and they've gotten off to a quick start.
Yeah, you know, when you have two teams that love to run the football, as you mentioned, Jack, you have to start counting possessions. So another long, sustained drive for Philip Simmons is going to really put them in a driver's seat. Again, it's just the first quarter. Still plenty of football left to be played. But the style of play that Beaufort likes to play, you don't want to fall behind too far.
It's Orlana to Sherrod Williams. Sherrod Williams absolutely runs through Isaac Small. Small's doing another great job of containing the edge, but not before Williams picks up about 6.
You know, the thing I love about these running backs and also the secondary for Beaufort, these guys, they don't go down with initial contact. They try to be the punisher. They're trying to deliver the blow. So, you know, you got running back saying, no, we're not going to run out of bounds, Sherrod Williams. Then you got Isaac Small saying, hey, bring it. I'm going to bring it. You love to see that competition between the two, and especially on a Friday night here in the LowCountry.
And running back by committee, right? You usually have a little bit of that thunder lightning action. They both stand at 6 feet, 200 pounds on the dot. I mean, this is an unbelievable backfield, maybe the best in the entire state. And again, thunder and lightning, lightning and thunder, peanut butter and jelly. They go back on the ground. KJ Asbury is about to pick up a 7 yards and another Mr. Sparky first down.
Yeah, and speaking of that, look at Adrian Lamb getting down the field, making that tackle well into the secondary. And you're right, Jack, just another, like just when you think one's starting to tire down, then you go to the other. It's kind of back and forth, back and forth. Already starting to see some hands on the hips of the Beaufort Eagles. Those guys just kind of have to get it figured out. Coach Lieberman talked about it. They have to be disciplined. Maybe this first quarter taking an opportunity to really get adjusted.
This time it's Asbury out of the Wildcat again. Seen that formation a couple times. A great block on the outside. Frees up Asbury. That was number 5, Sherrod Williams, leading the way for him.
Well, we heard Coach Bendig talk when we spoke with him earlier this week, how the running backs love blocking for each other. Yes, of course, they love running the football and getting yards and scoring touchdowns, but they get just as much joy when they can pop open their teammate for a big run. That time you saw the unselfishness of the Philip Philip Simmons Iron Horses as Sherrod Williams there with the key block to spring his running back mate KJ Asbury for a big gainer.
They pick up another first down. A name to keep an eye on that Beaufort defense. Robert Johnson, the senior, standing at 6'2", 220. But in the meantime, they're going to take a shot downfield. They're looking for the Georgia Tech commit. There's Troy Stevenson, but in coverage. What a great play on the outside. That was Aaron Dice, just a sophomore. They were looking to pick on the youngster. Stevenson couldn't go up and corral it. What a great play by Dice in the secondary.
Yeah, Stevenson definitely had a step on him, but give credit to Aaron Dice. You're right. Being in the right place at the right time at that last second, able to throw the hand up, tap it away. Great play by the sophomore cornerback.
His first passing attempt of the game, they look to take a shot at the end zone. If they continue to go back to that passing, I go back to the guy I wanted to talk about, Robert Johnson. Coach Lybrand told us, he is a freak on the end. He's going to have to be really disciplined and against this rushing attack. As you see, Sherrod Williams looking to bounce it to the outside. A yellow hanky high placement, potentially in a holding call up front. You see the left tackle maybe get on the outside?
I would think so. I was just seeing those guys trying to bounce it outside. And I got to tell you, all of a sudden now this Beaufort Eagle defense seemed to make an adjustment. They're not allowing the running backs of Philip Simmons to get wide. So a nice job of adjusting by the Eagle defense. But as you mentioned,
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
As your fishing crew just filled you in at home, it is a hold. It was on the outside. It'll back them up 10 yards. And talk about wanting to stay on time, especially in a rushing attack scheme. Defensively, it almost feels like a huge advantageous defensive play in your sight.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where another senseless penalty. If your guy can't get around, try to do the best that you can, and then make it third down and 10 instead of third or second down and 20. So now you put yourself in a dire situation. But again, the Iron Horses, they're going to do what they do. You heard one of the keys to the game, stick with the run. They've done a nice job of establishing the run. But now third down and long, definitely think the Iron Horses are going to have to put it in the air.
I say they go back on the ground. They're running behind a big fella. Stephen Pickard, the right tackle, sophomore at 6'5", 280 pounds. They look to really go that way. A great job by Robert Johnson, not rushing upfield, playing containment defense, and Aaron Dice coming in with the tackle, forcing the 3rd and 14.
Well, Anna, I got to tell you, I was impressed with the throw to Stevenson. They weren't able to connect, but nice touch, has a strong arm. Let's see if he can put it on display here.
Bottom of the screen, that's Michael Spignardo at the bottom. They go back to the ground. That's Asbury looking to bounce it, can't break a tackle, and that's a big Aaron. Isaac Small's been all over the field tonight. I seriously talked about this linebacking crew for Beaufort, but Isaac Small's been all over the field.
I think unofficially that's his 4th tackle. All of them are solo, so they keep testing him. A nice job of not allowing himself to get stiff arm as they tried to pick up that first down. So you're right. Smalls, he's been a player tonight.
They've got 2 sophomore corners. Isaac Small, 5'9", 170, great size on the outside for just an underclassman. Could he be the next Troy Stevenson of the LOWCOUNTRY? But Philip Simmons, Coach Bendig, he's not worried. Maybe trying to look to draw him off sides, but it won't matter. The end of the first quarter dominated by the Iron Horses, the home team. Take a commanding 7-0 lead into the 7th quarter. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Iron Horses 7, Eagles nothing. We'll be back just right after this. That was crazy. Yeah, well, we never hooked up on the same. And I was kind of like bummed out. Yeah. He didn't give me, he did not know. He said, sorry, yeah, Buzz. Yeah. See, they brought their own radio team and all that. So we were completely secondary. He was like kind of saying options, stuff like, let's say, so much, 5 of them have been on right now. And every time I try to talk about his team, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. I got to fucking win. full moon. Things are getting crazy out here at Philip Simmons, but just before we get going and underway here in the second quarter, tonight's host school grant is brought to you by Preferred Home Services and News 4. They're proud to present each participating homeschool a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school just that much more great. Over the past 13 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $140,000 to LOWCOUNTRY students and schools. Congratulations to Philip Simmons from Preferred Home Services and News 4. You can see athletic director and our main man, Trooper Bob, that's assistant principal and athletic director Dan Minkin, having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we can't hear from him right now, but we know that AD Dan Minkin and his squad are beyond proud of what the Iron Horses have been able to do this year, and really just kind of their infancy. Fourth down, though. Orellana's going to take a shot at the end zone. We're bragging about his school. We won't necessarily brag about the fourth down play, but the Eagles, they're excited to get that defense off the field.
Well, we just talked about it on the previous possession. They're now starting to kind of figure it out. That opening possession, very easy for Philip Simmons. Had a lot of success on the ground. Didn't have to put the ball in the air. And as you mentioned, they kind of got off schedule. Penalty. They also had the incomplete pass, which I thought was going to be a touchdown. So we talked about that bend but don't break mentality. Beaufort has come up with the stop. Now let's see what the Eagles can do on the offensive end.
Samari Bonds will take over the Eagle 25. They kick it on the ground. It's Jaden Andrews. Talk about running with bad intentions. It's a game for about 9.
Yeah, that's how you run behind your pads. You know, right? That's how Andrews trying to send a message that he is here to play tonight. And I don't know what's happened, Jack, but all of a sudden I see a little spring in the steps of this Beaufort team. And you have to be careful if you're the Iron Horses. You don't want to get lulled to sleep if they have a big pass down the field.
I was going to say, Samari Bonds has the ability to do so. This time he'll keep it. That ball popped out. Did he able to fall back on it? We're waiting for a ruling. Not sure which Iron Horse hand got in there to rip that ball clean. But you can see here that home sideline erupts. On the bottom of that pile, it looks like Josh Gant, the middle linebacker, popped up with it. Bryce Smalls, who's slow to his feet, looked like it stripped it out of the hands of Samari Bonds. That momentum swayed back to the boys in black.
Yeah, and that's one. Bonds a little kind of careless with the football. Kind of was waving it. You had to tuck it high, get it close to that chest, so that way those guys can't poke it away. But give credit where credit's due. Nice job by the Iron Horses, punching the ball out, getting it back to their offense for their third possession of the night.
This Beaufort defense has been on the field majority of this ball game. Time of possession heavily in favor for the Iron Horses. Defensive coordinator Alex Renner, Coach Bendick said that's his right-hand man. He's got to be really proud of the way his defense has looked tonight. Asbury takes the direct snap. He runs behind a flurry of lead blockers. Will it be enough to jump in the end zone? He's running, bumbling, stumbling into the end zone. That Trident technical college touchdown looked like it was going to be stopped 20 yards before. Asbury had other intentions. His 17th touchdown of the year propels the Iron Horses up to 13.
Well, that'll help the average, which coming into tonight's game was 12.6 yards a carry. That'll help it. I can now see why he's rushed for now over 1,100 yards on the season. As you mentioned, 18 touchdowns. What a physical, punishing run by Asbury. And on the defensive end, Jack, that's why you don't tackle high, as they're going to go for 2 on the fake.
Oh, look, they run up in the middle huddle, but Beaufort played it perfectly. They weren't surprised on the outside. A great play. That was Will Cotting. They snuffed it out. Sometimes you see that muddle huddle, try to get a defense sleeping, steal a couple points. But an unbelievable play. We're going to kick it to our third man of the crew, though. It's loud on that home side front. But tonight's Educator Spotlight. Let's go down to the sidelines where we have our thumbs up guys. Educator Spotlight. It's Trooper Bob and Athletic Director Dan Minkin.
Yeah, not just the athletic director, also assistant principal, so that's cool. We were a couple of weeks into the school year. What are some of the exciting things you're doing down here, Philip Simmons?
I'll be honest with you. Just look around this climate and culture that we have here. I've worked at many schools in the state, and this is the best climate and culture that I've ever had, any school I've been in, especially in Berkeley County.
You can tell a lot of the parents are here with the students. We just heard the crowd erupt over that touchdown. Everyone's here tonight cheering the team on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned parents. It's great. We have parents here that are working the concession stand that kids graduated 2 years ago, and they're still out here volunteering their time. It's just an unbelievable atmosphere, and I'm ecstatic to be here.
Keep up the good work. This is definitely a night for football here at Philip Simmons. Send it back to you guys.
Oh, excuse me, the assistant principal, Dan Mingle, he's got to be ecstatic.
We got to get the principal to smile a little. We just gave the man $500 now. But I know Dan, a great guy, does a good job. He really is, this Philip Simmons athletic department all around. The men's basketball team, I know they had a solid year last year. The women's basketball team, we obviously saw the tennis team as well. So good things happening here at Philip Simmons.
Good things happening. Sam Crocker absolutely just blasted that touchback through the back of the end zone. You can see Assistant Principal Dan Minkin. He talked about climate and culture. He talked to Coach Bendig. He was the one that got this program off the ground. He said, hey, it wasn't easy. Just the 7th season. It might feel like a long time.
Yeah.
Really in their infancy still.
He played at Wando, coached on Coach Hayes' staff there, so he's learned from a lot of guys. Also was an offensive coordinator, I believe, at Ashley Ridge. And so, he knows what to do, how to build a program, and that's what he's done thus far here at Philip Simmons.
Jaden Andrew responds with a big-time run of his own. That's about a run of 22 to the outside. Beaufort, they find themselves down 13-0 with 10:55 in the second quarter. Still a lot of football game left to be played. You bring up an interesting and fascinating point. Talk about guys that you coached for, maybe played for. Coach Librand, who's obviously built kind of a powerhouse at the 3A level, won a state championship a year ago. This is 5th season at Beaufort. He and Coach Bending, very good friends in the coaching world. He actually took Coach Bendig's job at Wando High School.
Yeah.
He was the wide receivers coach and ended up filling in the year after Bendig left to be the OC at Ashley Ridge.
Yeah, Coach Bendig said those guys have texted each other all week as we see Denarius Washington on the stop. Also joining him, Josh Gant on the tackle. But, all week long they've been texting back and forth, really build a great relationship, friendship, good guys. And so, for for Coach Liebran to take over Bendig when he left, just a small world.
I was going to say, I told you, I said, you guys seem so similar in coaching philosophy, just awesome human beings. I said, you guys run into it. He was like, no, but funny enough, I did take his job after he left. And to have these kind of competitions with guys that really understand what kind of football in the low country represents, it's been beautiful and really good for the game.
Another stop by Gant. 3rd down and long coming up for the Eagles. And this Philip Simmons defense, we talked about Beaufort getting that stop on that previous 2 possessions ago. Philip Simmons, this defense, they're trying to pitch a shout out as well. They're flying to the football. This is a very explosive Beaufort offense. So far, so good for the Iron Horses.
Bonds rolls out to his right. He delivers an absolute dart to the outside. He was looking for his number 1 receiver, targeted receiver, Jamin Odom. But what a play on the outside. You see a little friendly love on the outside. That was Michael Spignardo kind of fushing, getting a hand on it. Great pass breakup.
Look at the arm strength here by Bonds, able to roll to the right, didn't really even get his feet set, was kind of throwing on the run, just not able to complete the pass, but I just love his athleticism. It's easy to see why this Beaufort team, obviously very successful last year, winning that state title. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's exciting, and despite right now trailing 13-0, as you mentioned, still plenty of football left to be played.
That's William Kieserling looking to fire it away. Asbury heels on the 30. A high snap. Kieserling, a little end over. Kind of rugby style, but he gets a great roll. His best punt of the night. Touchdown at the 26. Philip Simmons will trot back out with a 13-point lead and 9:25 left in the second quarter. Iron Horses Eagles will be back. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, Jack DeLongchamp alongside Everett German. You know, you hate to sound cliche, the idea of time possession being so important in these kind of matchups. Already with just 9:25 left in the second quarter, the offensive front of Philip Simmons has been dominant.
Yeah, at least on that opening possession. Since then, they've kind of slowed down a bit in terms of not being able to just run the ball up and down the field as they did on that opening possession. So I'm sure Coach Bendig would like to kind of get back in rhythm and go on a long, sustained drive here in the second quarter.
This time they go to Sherrod Williams, a little dive and fall for about 8 forward. But in the meantime, as the Iron Horses get it rolling, we kick it down to our third member of the crew, Trooper Bob. He had a little special guest interview for us, Trooper Bob.
Hey, I'm here with the varsity coach, Brittany. She's down here with the JV and varsity. How much practice you guys do every week?
So we practice at least 2, sometimes 3 days a week, and then we have games on Friday. JV has their games on Thursday, so it's about a 4-day week commitment.
So you do football and then you go right into basketball, right?
After football, we roll right into basketball, and that's games anywhere from 2 to 3 days a week, and then 2 days of practice. So still a 4 to 5 day commitment.
You've been doing a great job. I want to show everyone your favorite cheer. What is that?
All right, our favorite cheer is "And Move to the Horses Beat," the Philip Simmons cheerleaders.
All right, let's show it.
Well, you can see that's a perfect preview later tonight. The Delta Force All-Stars cheer of the game. Everett might be an early winner for us.
Exactly.
Hey, guys, they did a great job. Thank you very much. And, you know, the only time I move like that is when I step in the fire ant pile. So they did a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'll send it back to you.
Trooper Bob, we appreciate the inside look. They've done a great job on both sidelines tonight cheering on their student athletes. While we were away, a little bit of a penalty on that run from Sherrod Williams. It's backed up the Iron Horses to now a 3rd and long. You see a great tackle on the outside. That was number 9, Dom Camacho, shooting up from the secondary.
You know, and the best defenses are the ones that have multiple players, multiple hats at the football. Early on, it was just ISO, one guy making tackles. It seemed like Isaac Small was making all of the tackles. Now, the defense has done a nice job, everybody doing their part, and they really have done a nice job of slowing down this Philip Simmons offense.
A team that you know loves to run the football. Do they expect Aiden Orlana here on 3rd and 13 to drop back? He's joined in the backfield with Sherrod Williams. Orlana trips out wide. He goes to shotgun, delivers a perfect throw. That's Bryce Ellington, the senior. His 9th catch of the season, goes for about 17.
A lot of soft coverage there that time by Beaufort. Nice job of finding the soft spot in that zone and able to deliver a strike. I tell you what, when you look at him physically, you see that number 8. I can't remember if it was Bruce or Andre, but usually when you see Ellington, you think Berkeley football, some studs that played there for Dr. Jerry Brown. But Ellington with a nice catch and a big first down for the Iron Horses.
When you see Bryce Ellington, number 8, doing my homework this week, I found myself just going, Bruce.
Like Bruce was literally like a one-man press attack in basketball and a one-man show in football as well.
Best student athletes in the history of the state of South Carolina. But Bryce Ellington, his 9th target. He's the most targeted receiver on this Iron Horse team at first down. Brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Ellington's 9th catch of the season continues the drive.
Ellington gonna check out. And, we got off to a quick pace. That first quarter kind of flew by. Then both defenses, nice job of settling in, making the offenses adjust, a couple of punts. And so now it looks like Philip Simmons trying to get back into the groove.
You see a couple late penalties as it looks like Philip Simmons tried to get going early. Won't assume as we await a call on the field.
Dead ball, false start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Was a false start that backs him up 5. Looks like they just try to get going early. Spignardo checks in at the bottom of the screen. It's Troy Stevenson, the receiver, at the top.
You can see that whole right side pulling. They were ready to headhunt and find somebody in a white jersey to block down the field.
We've shown a lot of love to that offense front. These receivers do a great job in the run game. This time it's Sherrod Williams. Williams met by the big fella.
Oh, my goodness.
Adrian Lamb on the other side of the football. His first tackle tonight.
The big guy being able to run down the line of scrimmage, the pursuit. That's a grown man right there, folks. Adrian Lamb, 76. We talked about it in the pregame, how he's light on his feet, has great feet. Just a guy that's just relentless, not going to give up on the play, and he's going to get a well-deserved break. Mr. Lamb. I'm going to call him Mr. Lamb, not Adrian Lamb. He will be Mr. Lamb to me.
Mr. Lamb, 6'4", 300 pounds. Coach Librand, I asked him, who's a guy that needs a little bit of love on your spot? He said, Adrian Lamb gets a lot of it, but he deserves more. Kid with a really bright ceiling, disrupting the second and long, forcing this third and long throw. It's going to be a little halfback screen out of the backfield. Asbury will catch. We have enough for the first down. Looks like it's about a gain of 13. But it makes it potentially a fourth and manageable. Coach Eric Bendix, he's got a decision to make.
But you know what, Jack? That wasn't the prettiest pass, but that was an outstanding pass because he got it high enough over the defender's hand just to allow his teammate to run under and catch it. A lot of times you'll see guys either throw it in the ground or throw it too far because they put zip on it. So by putting some air on that pass, that allowed his teammate KJ Asbury to come up with the catch. And as you mentioned, fourth down. Big call here for Eric Bendig. And I got to tell you, the way they've been running the football tonight, we should have 2 plays on this. Give it to 21 or give it to 5. And it's the C play. Give it to them and see what they can do.
Oh, I like that. It's about 4th and a yard. Coach Bendig, he's going to call his first timeout of the half. Looks like a little cat and mouse between he and Coach Bryce Librand. Wanted to see what they were going to line up in defensive. And we're going to take a break with them. It's Philip Simmons 13, Beaufort Goose Egg with just 4:44 left in the second quarter. It's Preferred Home Services, Friday Night Rivals, Beck and Cruz Chevrolet. We'll be back in just a few. We welcome you back into host site, Philip Simmons. Got to show a little bit of love to our camera guy up in the scissor lift. Scissor lift provided by TEC Equipment Rental, the friendliest name in equipment rental. That guy, I don't know if he's got the best job in the house, but I know he's the best in the business. Got to give him a stool up there or something. He is in grave danger of a big-time kickoff or something.
I'd say, but some of the kickers we've seen this year as well, yeah, it definitely needs a screen or a net in front of him. But, yeah, you're right, TEC Equipment and Rental. We appreciate them giving us those end-zone shots. And, matter of fact, on this 4th down and 1, we'll see what the quarterback is seeing, well, I should say the defense, in terms of trying to stop the Iron Horses on 4th.
Quarterback turned running back. It's Asbury on the outside. They go to the Wildcat. He went horizontal instead of vertical, and it's going to be really close.
Is that a right foot spot or a left foot spot? If it's a left foot, it's a first down.
It is. It's going to be enough for a West Shore home first down, America's most admired home remodeling brand.
before we went to break, you guys could hear how tough words were. 4th and 4 from the 44 with 4:44 to go as we get this thing going underway. Philip Simmons continues to dominate that time of possession.
An opportunity to possibly run this clock out, and boy, if you can get some points here going into the locker room and not allow Beaufort to get the football back. Now, of course, Beaufort will get it to start the second half, so crucial drive here.
Troy Stevenson burned his man. Orellana delivers a strike. They don't want to hold on to the ball the rest of the half. They wanted 6, and they wanted it right away. The Georgia Tech commit, Troy Stevenson, blistering speed on the outside, pushes that Iron Horse lead to 19.
You know, Coach Bendick told us, by far the hardest working guy, one of the fastest, if not the fastest guys on the team. And you talk about simply running by the defense. That's exactly what Troy did. I can see why they're excited in Atlanta, trying to get him to the Waffle House there on Perimeter Road so he can be a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket.
As we await the kick from Sam Crocker, it's officially a 20-point lead. Troy Stevenson, the talented corner case. Hey, Coach, I can play two-way at the ACC level.
I mean, everyone's doing it. You look at Travis Hunter at Colorado, some of the best. They want to play on both sides of the football. That young man has a bright future in football for sure.
That touchdown brought to you by Trident Technical College, your future, your college. Troy Stevenson, he was your player to watch tonight. Coach Bendick kind of taught us, I think it was a really learning opportunity, about the catapult system that they have in place. It almost looks like a training ball underneath their jerseys, calculates speed, endurance, how many miles they've run in the game. I'm going to be really curious to see how fast they had him on that fly route.
Well, he definitely ran really fast on that particular play, and it's safe to say, wait for it, Jack. Safe to say that the Iron Horses did a great job of engineering that scoring drive. Georgia Tech, engineer. I'm always looking for angles. Always looking for angles.
Hey, you know I love you. You're a legend for a reason. I love when you got to explain the pun too.
Just to make sure. Some people may not know that Georgia Tech's obviously known for probably the top engineer school in the country. Probably in the Southeast for sure.
Well, I don't know what Stevenson plans on majoring in, but I know fans here at Philip Simmons have been lucky and blessed to watch number 2. I know we are as well. Sam Crocker, by the way, has back-to-back kickoffs where he has just absolutely bolstered one in the back of the end zone. You knew that number 21, Isaac Smalls, he was waiting on the return. He kind of wanted to get one back in his favor, but he had no chance.
Well, and the thing about that is, and we've seen obviously a lot of high school football here this season, Jack. The one thing that really sticks out, we have a lot of good teams, but I think the exceptional best teams are the ones that have and excel on special teams. Having that kicker, having that punter. I think back to, while we didn't get to fully see it, James Island, their situation. Obviously, Crocker here at Philip Simmons. Those are the ones that will have an opportunity to, as the coaches say, get to practice on Thanksgiving because they're going to the state championship.
Jaden Andrews falls through for about 2 yards. You talk about wanting to practice on Thanksgiving. Coach Bendick, he kind of talked us through some of his mantras and traditions that he's been able to establish. And it is really inspiring, the pride you can feel from the student fan base. I mean, this place is absolutely packed out on the home sideline tonight. He talked about it. Hey, when I got the job 7 years ago, I made sure that we knew that we wanted to practice on Thanksgiving. A win tonight against Beaufort, the reigning state champs, kind of puts them in the driving seat moving forward.
Yeah, obviously Beaufort had an opportunity to practice.
Offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty, second down.
They practiced last year on Thanksgiving and on their route to the state championship. So I think, as Coach Bendick said, that's their next step. They've done a great job, of making it to the playoffs, making it to the third round of the playoffs. Now, this program, he wants to see it go one step further. That's what he's talking about. He wants to be where Beaufort was really the last 2 years.
Little miscommunication. That was Amari Patterson, the freshman that everyone keeps raving about, the lower end of the low country. Just Bonds looking for maybe a back shoulder fades. Patterson running that fly route. Will land innocently and force a 3rd and 12.
And it just seems like for some reason Beaufort can't get on track. Like everything's like a struggle. As you can see, Bonds only 6 yards passing tonight. Just not really, when you think Beaufort, everything in running all cylinders, everything smooth. And tonight, you have to give credit, I guess, to Philip Simmons. They've done a nice job of disturbing Beaufort and not allowing them to get on track.
A lot of pressure in the backfield. That was the big fella up front, Mike Garnett, just a young sophomore nose guard. He forced the pressure and the sack. Are you kidding me? How can you not show some love? That was Jabari Taylor, his first sack of the season.
Also, Mason Mashad also on the stop as well, applying that pressure. Hey, roll call at the football. We'll see you in the backfield. That's what they did. And right now, Eric Bendig going to take a timeout to try to save some time to see if he can punch one more score on Beaufort right here before the half. And right now, this iron hoarding fun, that's what it's all about.
All three phases of the game, we bragged on the rushing attack because how could you not with Asbury and Williams? But defensively, I mean, they got some studs up front. The linebacking core has been great. But the big fella, Mike Garnett, just a sophomore. Look at the size. Look at the push up front.
5'9", 285, running like a running back there, chasing down the Mr. Bonds there. So, yeah, a guy that can absolutely just move. And that's what you like. Athletes like that have size. That's what you normally see at the next level. Guys with size, also with speed, with strength. Nice job by the sophomore.
Really pivotal moment for Beaufort. Talks about the third phase benefiting the Iron Horses to this point. Kieserling with his heels inching towards the back of the end zone, looking to fire it away. The dangerous Asbury awaits at around the 50. Wide snap, a kick fluttering towards the sidelines. Will roll out of bounds at around the 38. And with 3:03 to go, that seems like too much time for Eric Bendig's offense.
The way this offense has been going tonight, got off to a quick start, then kind of stalled a little bit, but now all of a sudden they picked up their momentum. They're back on track, and you best believe Coach Bendig trying to punch one more in. He's got 3:02, all great field position, so he can really take his time. Doesn't have to put the ball in the air, especially when you got running backs getting 12, 13, 14 yards a clip.
Take a look at head coach Eric Bendig, his 7th season, pioneering this Iron Horse program. They're 10th in the state. This is the first week that they've cracked into the South Carolina top 10 rankings, and he's got to be really proud of their first half efforts. I got to be really proud of the fact that Sherrod Williams is, I got to be dang near impossible to tackle tonight. It feels like it takes 2-3 hits, and then you got to use the sidelines as an out-of-bounds tackle.
Using that wild horse formation, just pushing people out of the way. Again, go low. That's okay. I'll run through that. I'll run through. You got to get low on guys like Sherrod. You can't tackle high. When you tackle high, you usually end up on your back.
We go back to Williams. Nowhere to go. Great job on the outside by Robert Johnson containing the edge. He told you about KJ Asbury. He came in tonight, 84 carries, 1,000 yards, 177 per game. Sherrod Williams on 57 carries has gone for 837.
Yeah.
I mean, 163 yards, and he breaks 1,000 yards. That's unheard of.
At this pace, I think we'll have 2,000-yard rushers for the Iron Horses, as our good friend over here, Andrew Miller, with the stats. We'll have to figure out where he is. But, yeah, I think he may get that tonight, the way he's running the football, punishing people on the offensive end.
Andrew Miller, he's our man, the myth, the legend. He's got 43 yards tonight, as we were informed. As we take a look down, we're being informed by our director. Referee was actually hit at the end of this play. I want to make sure that everybody's okay. It looks like he takes a shot at the bottom of the screen.
Oh,
that's what I was going to say. A little stoppage in play. He took a scary shot high.
Looks like he's going to be okay.
Looks like we're good. Looks like, yeah.
He's tough.
I was going to say our linesman there. You can see he's maybe cracking a joke with the defensive coordinator at the bottom of the screen. I think that was Alex Renner messing with him a little bit. Bryce Librand maybe trying to pay his, not condolences, but he's just making sure everyone's all right as well. Librand in his 5th season as the head coach at Beaufort. It sound like a broken record, but the reigning state champ, such an incredible feat in just his 4th season, looking for a much better second half than first. Sherrod Williams explodes into the second half, but based on the placement of that yellow hanky, it looks like it's coming back.
Sometimes when the hole is that big, it's a reason why. So,
offense number 58, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, 2nd down.
I was going to say, it was a huge push up front from junior center Daniel Scarth, but maybe too good to be true.
Exactly. And we heard about this offensive line. Coach Bendig just raved about how these guys really the foundation of this offense, and that, you can't have two guys rush for over 1,000 yards if you don't have guys blocking for them. You could have the best specialists across the field. If you don't have guys in the trenches, you're not going to have success. And safe to say, this is my first time seeing Philip Simmons this year. They got specialists. They got guys on the outside. But more importantly, they have guys up front can absolutely open holes for these running backs.
Jet sweep handoff to Williams again. This could be good for enough, about 6 yards. That's a point that I kind of want to talk about as Philip Simmons faces a 3rd and long. This is an Iron Horse team that really hasn't been challenged yet to this point, as you see Williams busted to the outside.
And a nice job by Aaron Dice, not allowing him to get around the corner. It basically stretched him out, made him go sideline to sideline. He played that perfectly. Had he not, that could have been a big play for Philip Simmons. Nice job, Aaron Dice.
They pick back enough yards, it appears, after the holding call, about 8 yards back, as they'll now look for a 3rd and 12. Tavian Orlana saw the beautiful flyer out to Troy Stevenson. His first passing touchdown of the night and 8th on the season. We'll need another big play here on 3rd to continue the drive. A little reverse to the outside. It's Stevenson again. Look at the breakaway speed. Plenty for a 1st down. Was a man to beat for another touchdown.
And that's why you have to stay home if you're that defensive end. You see right there, he got sucked in, that being Sam Blackman, and he knew it because as soon as he turned his back, that was all she wrote. Troy Stevenson with that blazing speed. Look at that long stride. You can see why he's a Division I prospect. 6'3", can run. 1st down, and once again, Philip Simmons back in the TEC Equipment Rental red zone.
Trickeration in reverse gets him into the red zone, and KJ Asbury stuck on the outside. Isaac Smalls again, a touchdown-saving tackle. It was Asbury told us. These guys love to block for these dudes. It was he who freed up Stevenson on the reverse.
Nice job there, pushing him up the field, which allowed Asbury to go under. And again, these guys delivering some blows to each other. Pads are popping here at Philip Simmons.
Hat on hat, best on best. Orlana under center. Gant, the lead blocker. They go back to the ground. Sherrod Williams looking for his first touchdown of the night. Looks like he'll just be a yard short.
I don't know what it is, Jack, but down in these situations, I'm just a big fan of turnaround and hand the ball off and let these guys, run in. So many bad things can happen here. High pitch ball slips out of his hands. Guy sees a guy coming, takes his eye off the ball. But fortunately for the Iron Horses, he was able to pick up.
I didn't even notice the pitch on the play. It was so quick, but to your point, we've already seen a miss handled from Samari Bonds on the other sideline. It looks like Beaufort wanted a quick timeout, preaching to their defense how important a stop here would be.
Well, safe to say, Jack, over the course of this football season, I've seen a lot of situations down on the 1 yard line that didn't necessarily end up with teams scoring touchdowns. So ever really since then, I've been a big fan of, just turn around and hand it off to your teammate and let him run it in.
You don't have to forgive Everett. He's still fairly scarred. Would you like to talk about it?
Well, I mean, and also, now you see in the NFL this new formation where it's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, where the quarterback and has 3 guys behind him. They basically, push him forward for a first down or a touchdown.
Coach Pendig's got the tush push in his playbook?
I'm sure he does. I mean, it seems like and you really can't stop it.
No.
But it'll be someone like Andy Reid that'll come up with a pass play out of that formation and result in a wide open touchdown for someone.
With these running backs, they might not need a tush push.
Yeah, that's true.
But they do have Josh Gant, their middle linebacker, leading the way for Sherrod Williams. It looks like, speaking of Fumbarooski, that ball looked like it popped out of you. What you got?
So I've never seen so many teams have an issue getting 1 yard for a touchdown. But, yes, it was a fumble. But fortunately for Philip Simmons, able to fall on it with 26 seconds left.
You can see it was actually on the snap.
Right.
If you blinked, you'd have missed it. Daniel Scarth and a little bit, maybe a premature movement from Tavian Orlana and stating.
Well, the most important thing is, first of all, you got to get the snap. Sometimes I think guys get too anxious to kind of turn around and hand it off or to, execute the play. So you got to get the snap first and then be able to finish the play. So 3rd and 1 here. But again, you got 5 and 21. Just pick your poison.
Hey, man, it's a weird night. You saw it's a full moon. Great shot from our incredible camera crew here tonight. Hey, man, We almost saw it last night, Thursday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers, they wanted to come back and beat the Lions. The Lions looked like they wanted to give it away. Does Coach Library got a little magic up his sleeve in the second half, or has it just been all iron horses all night, and they continue to dominate?
He's going to have to come up with who was it, Bobby Ross when Maryland was down 31 points?
Yeah.
Come up with a Bobby Ross speech here at the half. Because, and his team, they really hadn't played bad, but it's just that, I don't know, Philip Simmons has just really been the bully here tonight in terms of being able to exert themselves on this Beaufort team.
They go back to the direct snap. It was Sherrod Williams, but a big scrum up front. Will he have enough to get in? And he will.
But there's a penalty flag on the play.
It looked like it was pre-snap because it was that far linesman at the top of your screen.
Eric Bendig not happy.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down. The result of the play was a touchdown.
So you see great explanation there to kind of let us know what he saw. Does this change the play call 4th and 6 with 19?
Yeah, it looks like he's sending the field goal team out because the situation here, now that you're 6 yards, you want to be able to get something out of this drive. Only 16 seconds and the clock is actually running.
I was going to say, look, you beat him to it. Try you're the best.
I was about to say, it was after a penalty, so it should be starting on the snap, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you know they wanted 6. They'll look to settle for 3 as they have a conversation about how much time they'll need to put back on the clock. We'll allow the guys who are a lot more intelligent than us.
I want to say it was 20 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
The previous play, the result of the play was a touchdown. The clock should have started on the snap. Please reset the game clock to 19 seconds, and the clock will start on the snap.
It is interesting that they do have a timeout left, so it wouldn't have really mattered. But if they would have downed it at the 1, it wouldn't have been a dead ball, so the clock would have started.
Correct. In this situation, you just let the clock run down. I guess you just say on the snap.
Crocker again. How impressive has he been? We told you that equipment rental, TEC, brave danger. And another yellow hanky. It was such a clean first quarter, and I believe it was the 7th penalty already in the second quarter.
Looks like it's against Beaufort, but they're going to decline it. Or is Coach Bendig going to take the gamble and be Riverboat Ron? I mean, in this situation, you got to go for it and just say, I believe in my kids. I got a 3-touchdown lead.
Roughing the snapper, correction the holder on the defense. This penalty is declined. The result of the play is a successful field goal.
Yeah. They say you never take points off the board.
Hey, the long snapper Gunnar Yoakum, the holder Colton Kellerman, and the kicker Sam Crocker, they said that the long snapper was actually, I guess you can't go over the top. But you could see, never take points off the board. But it didn't look like Coach Bendig was too excited about making that decision.
He was like, 5 yards up at the 1-yard line. And then, it's also about the flow of the game. A situation, because you think about it, you still have a timeout. Would have been 14, 15, 16 seconds left. If you don't get it, then they're at the 1-yard line. Maybe you get a safety. Anything can happen,
Yeah, I think, too, maybe the thought process here is we take another look in at the field goal, see if we can't show you at home where the penalty occurred. It was actually roughing the kicker. Yeah, I was going to say, well, he said holder, but it looked like the kicker and the holder got rough, so we'll just call it all of the above.
But, yeah, I agree. It's one of those situations. Now you make it a 3-possession game because you're up to 23.
And does the score affect – obviously you're up by 3 scores. Does it affect the play call in the sense that, hey, man, let's not let them feel good about themselves at all? Like, if they get a stop defensively, then all of a sudden.
And they'll get the ball to start the second half. I'm sure Coach Bendig kind of had that in mind. You kind of get them out of rhythm, and then you go on a long, sustained drive. At this point, you just kind of want to shorten the game if you can. But still, still 2 quarters left. I'm sure Coach Liebren and the Eagles will make some adjustments here in the second half, a chance to regroup, but that's what good coaches do. Coach Bendig, he's a great coach as well, so he'll make adjustments as well. I don't think this game is over, but This first half, it's been all Iron Horses.
You made a really interesting comment. Beaufort hasn't looked bad. I mean, the one turnover and Philip Simmons immediately made them pay for it. They just haven't had the football. The defense hasn't given up big plays, but Philip Simmons has taken what they've given him. And it'll be curious now as it looks like Jaden Andrews will take the final snap, run it out. It should take us to halftime. What does that in-game halftime conversation look like?
Well, I think if you're Beaufort, you're going to have to throw the football. You can't really afford to go on long, sustained drives because time is not on your side. And you have to figure that Philip Simmons, they're going to have the football at some point as well. So, yeah, look for them to maybe open it up, try to get something going here, and have, by far, the most important drive will be that opening drive for the Eagles.
Well, before the Iron Horses take it to the locker room, we're going to kick it down to our third member of the crew, Trooper Bob. He's with the leading coach, head coach Eric Bendig. Trooper Bob, take it away.
That's right, guys. Coach, before 5 minutes left, you had Stevenson with blazing speed, got that touchdown, key stop from the defense. You had the turnover there, the sack. Now you're up 23-0. How proud of you are your team?
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job of coming out here and executing the game plan. Beaufort's a state title contending team, so 23 points isn't going to be enough. But that being said, unbelievable first half. You know, if we could have drawn it up, I think we could have. That would have been what we had right there.
What would you like to see more of in the second half?
I told the guys to keep the energy and effort up. We're playing a lot. We're playing a lot of guys. You know, getting a little tired. Just told them, hey, keep playing for each other. You know, keep bringing each other with you. You know, if you're going to lead, bring other teammates along, and they're doing a great job of that. And I'm just really proud of that.
Best of luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you for your time. Yes, sir. Hey, guys, I want to tell you, I was standing right next to the ref when he took that shot on the sidelines. He seems to be okay, so that's some good news for the second half.
Well, I'd be a lot proud of that Philip Simmons first half effort. 23-0 domination here on Friday Night Rivals. Preferred Home Services, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, who was driven all by the Iron Horses. We'll be back for our first halftime report brought to you by Doctor's Implant. We'll be right back after this.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome to the Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report, empowering people through full mouth dental implants.
Each week, the Thumbs Up guys are proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes are, first, from the Beaufort Eagles, William Kieserling. you can see he's a stud soccer goalie for the Eagles, but a kicker and punter tonight on the football team as well. Kiesling with that 5.2 GPA in the classroom as well. A National Honor Society member, AP Capstone Diploma member as well, an AP Scholar with honors, and a junior marshal as well. In the community, he's a Boy Scout of America, a church youth group leader, and also he works with the Gen Pals, students that actually help the elderly in the Beaufort area. So kudos and shout out to you, William. For Philip Simmons, we're actually going to turn our attention to the tennis courts. It's Amelia Wirret. Ladies and gentlemen, the list of accolades goes on and on. But to put it plainly, Amelia's been a member of the varsity tennis team since she was just in the 7th grade. She's been a varsity captain since her freshman year, a state champion her sophomore, junior year, and this senior year looking forward to an incredible season. But it doesn't stop there. That 5.277 GPA has led her to becoming a Beta Club member since her freshman year, helping out the recycling efforts here at Philip Simmons, and also a member of the Renaissance Club, Student Government, National Honor Society, and the Fashion and Film Club. Amelia Wirret doing incredible things on and off those tennis courts. And lastly, we want to shout out and say thank you to the Thumbs Up guys again for providing this incredible scholarship opportunity.
Let's talk scholar athletes. These two gentlemen, certainly scholars both in the classroom and the courtroom. Two of the thumbs up guys, Brandon and Jeff, know how to give the thumbs up, also know how to give the scholarship check at the end for the top student athlete that we pick. And Jeff, I'll go to you first this time. How special is it when you're able to give that gift of college? I mean, how important is that college gift that you're able to give?
Oh, it's so important. You know, the look on their face, you know, we know that they've worked hard all year. They've put in the hours both on the field and the classroom, and then to have something other than a good grade as a reward for that is pretty special.
Yeah, Brandon, for you obviously played high school ball locally here. How important is Friday nights to the fabric of the LOWCOUNTRY?
Oh, man, it's so much fun to watch how much it's grown. Yeah. You know, the First Baptist and Porter-Gaud days to now we're seeing Lucy Beckham and Wando battle.
Crazy.
You know, it really is. It's so much fun to see how much the area has grown. And the football's grown. So I really enjoy it. Like I said, I got to go to the Porter-Gaud BE game the other week, and we're sending people to all these games every week, and I'm excited to get to go to a couple games, this year as well.
Very cool. Jeff, I'll let you brag on your firm for a little while. What do you guys do, and what should people call you for?
We're a personal injury firm. You know, if you've been hurt in any way, give us a call. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, slip and fall, trip and fall, hurt at work, that's where we focus all of our energy. So if you've been hurt in any way, give us a shout.
Awesome. Jeff and Brandon, two of the four thumbs up guys presenting sponsors of the Scholar Athlete here on Friday Night Rivals.
We'll be right back with more from the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report.
Fans, we're giving you the opportunity of a lifetime. Go vote for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads. Cast a vote for the Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game results. We'll show them later in the second half. We're going to start with the visiting team, the visiting squad, the Beaufort Eagles.
B-A-S. Eagles, let's start the show. Yell it out, come on, here we go. B-H-S. B-H-S. Eagles, the best by far. Yell it out, you know who we are. B-H-S. 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 Let's go, Eagles! Big purple. Stand up, get loud, go. Big purple. Stand up, get loud, go. Big purple. Stand up, get loud, go. Big purple. Let's go, Eagles!
Remember, go vote. abcnews4.com/poll for the Delta Force Athletics Cheer of the Night. Take our final break at the half.
We'll be right back with more from the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report.
So we welcome you back into Low Country. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Philip Simmons with a commanding 23-0 lead. As you can see, that home crowd advantage has paid dividends. Jack DeLongchamp alongside Everett German. As we dive into these stats, he fairly lopsided to say the least.
Yeah, I think it's a lot for Philip Simmons and not as much for Beaufort. That's right there. That's very indicative of this game right now. Obviously, Philip Simmons with the commanding 23-0 lead, rushing the football, able to throw it when they had to throw it. But the thing that really stands out is that time of possession. Almost triple the time of Beaufort. Not ideal when you're trailing. So Beaufort definitely will have their work cut out for them. Probably the only negative for Philip Simmons in that first half, as you can see, 5 penalties for 40 yards.
I was going to say, we had Beaufort and Cane Bay in our FNR Week 1 matchup. We were so impressed with Samari Bonds. He's made leaps and bounds since being that sophomore that led him to a state championship. We just haven't seen a lot of him.
And he had been playing well. He lost their first 2 games to Cane Bay and Fort Dorchester. Came in winners of their last 4, putting up some solid points. Just tonight, just not able to get it going. And so I guess you have to give credit to Philip Simmons. They've done a nice job of containing him, not really allowing him to kind of get out of the pocket, making him play on the move. So nice job by Philip Simmons defensively.
The adjustments made by Coach Eric Betty can't be said enough. He's got his team looking state championship bound. Well, before we get things going in the second half, we'll take our final break. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Iron Horses 23, Eagles nothing.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
She just started fist pumping like Tiger. Right here, the yeah. What? Pump up the crowd.
Wait, I think they got the 3:30 game. Texas did. Yeah, they'll probably lose.
Kansas sneaky.
Yeah.
Or a line. Hey.
This is going to be fun. Dude, he's a dog.
As we welcome you back into the Low Country, Preferred Home Services Final Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. A little bit of a lopsided first half, but we kick it down to our third member of the crew, Trooper Bob, as he's with head coach Bryce Library. How do they get things back on track?
Hey, Coach, 23-0. There's still a lot of football if you get the whole second half. What was your message to your team at halftime in the locker room?
Yeah, just clean it up. You know, they were more physical than we were in the first half, and that's something that we got to change. You know, we're better when we play physical, and we didn't play real physical, and you know, had some untimely mistakes, and we got to get some things going offensively. Defense was out there for a long time, so just settle down and find some things to work offensively, and protect the edges on defense, and see what happens.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Best of luck in the second half. All right, guys, there you have it from the coach. I'm going to send it back to you. Crowd's still here. Everyone's still cooking food. The concession stands are open, so if you're headed out there or you're here watching the game, come on down. I'll see you guys.
Well, I might have to go meet you at the concession stand. That sounds pretty good, eh?
I'd say I'll never turn down an opportunity to be at the concession stand for sure.
As we appreciate the time with head coach Library as they look to get things back on track, we show you what we've got coming up. Here's a look at our upcoming Friday Night Rivals schedule. Next week, Lake Marion at Bishop England. The week after, the number one team in the entire state, Somerville up the road at West Ashley. And finally, on October 20th, Berkeley Stratford. Talk about two really talented young quarterbacks. But, man, that Somerville matchup is going to be different. I mean, that team is looking special.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, looking forward to next week, Lake Marion at Bishop England. And like you said, Somerville at West Ashley. I know last week, Desmond did a great job of filling in for me. And actually, the next 2 weeks, he'll be filling in for me as well. Actually, next week, going to the Redskin game on Thursday.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, the Commander game.
How do you feel?
On Did you see last week?
Hey, it's primetime football. Just like tonight.
Exactly. So it'll be a good time. And then obviously some things going on as well on the 13th. So it'll be a good time for sure. But obviously a great season here on Friday Night Rivals.
Well, if you can't get enough of football, after the game tonight, make sure to switch over to News 4 and get complete highlights from all the action around the Low Country with News 4 sports director Scott Eisberg and Webb Wright. Friday Night Rivals on News 4. It'll start at 11:05. These guys are the best in the business. If you want to get your fill in all the Low Country's high school football, make sure to go check out those two.
Exactly. You'll have coverage all night long starting at 11:05 p.m.
And then if you're a football junkie like you and I, and
Yes.
you're going up to D.C. on Thursday, tomorrow's one of those days you can sit on your couch from noon to midnight.
Well, look at there. Both of us have our squads playing tomorrow.
Yeah, Clemson, Syracuse, Kansas, Texas, hook 'em horns. And then Notre Dame, Duke tomorrow night. That's going to be the college game day set at 7:30.
This looks like a basketball slate. Kansas, Texas, Duke. So, yeah, Syracuse. But, yeah, obviously a great day of football tomorrow. You can catch it all right here on ABC News 4 starting at high noon.
I was going to say, we got a lot to talk about with those Tigers in state, but Duke, their backup quarterback, the quarterback of Gaffney, the team we saw a week ago, Riley Lennon, the starting quarterback there, is kind of surprising putting some guys on notice. You put your Tigers on notice.
And, of course, at Notre Dame, they're led by Sam Hartman, a young man that played his senior season at Oceanside here in town, doing a great job leading the Fighting Irish. And they had a tough loss last week, but I'm sure they'll bounce back tomorrow.
Sam Hartman played at Oceanside. He's raised a trophy or two in his day. Tonight's trophy, Scholar Athlete plaques, at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. That Player of the Game award, there are going to be a couple of guys that are going to be fighting over it tonight.
Let's give it to the whole team. Well, actually, you know what would be neat? Because, and we have the numbers. We saw the first half offensive numbers for Philip Simmons. Just give it to the 5 offensive linemen.
That would be an FNR first. I don't know if it's been done anywhere across the incredible Sinclair broadcasting groups if they've given the Player of the Game to the entire offensive front.
I mean, the guys, they've really been physical tonight. Coach Liebran talked about the physicality of Philip Simmons, and so they've done a nice job. It doesn't matter who's been behind them. Everyone has done a nice job and had big gaping holes to run through tonight. So let's see if that continues, or if Coach Liebran, as I'm sure he did, challenges his defensive unit to have some pride in the trenches. Get it together. Let's make a statement here in this opening drive. Chip away. You can't erase a 23-point deficit all in one possession. Start on this possession, get the stop, and see what happens here in the second half.
Everett, you bring up a really interesting point. My 2 favorite storylines as we did our homework this week. Coach Liebran backfilling Coach Bendig's job. That was such a cool idea and kind of how they philosophize. Yikes, words are hard. Kind of how they kind of scheme and game plan and the way they treat their kids in their program. The second storyline being this Philip Simmons group hasn't really been challenged this year.
Yeah.
You bring up the word challenge. They've kind of boat raced a lot of teams this season. They've looked dominant. We expected a really, really tight ball game. Kind of did you see this coming? And, is this a ball club that's just, kind of the boats motoring and, they're not stopping anytime soon?
They're definitely trending in the right direction. Needless to say, this Philip Simmons team, I did not foresee this. I knew or expected it to be a solid game, a close game, maybe a fourth quarter, one-possession game with Beaufort, because we've seen Beaufort. We know the type of athletes and the type of coaching that they have. Just in that first half, it was not Beaufort's half. Fortunately for the Eagles, football is a 4-quarter game. So Philip Simmons won the first 2 quarters. Now it'll be Beaufort's opportunity, starting on this opening possession when they get the football to start the second half, to try to claw themselves back into this game. Still a 3-possession game. It's going to be a tough task because of the type of offense that they run and also the type of possession that Philip Simmons runs in terms of being able to go on those long, sustained drives. And when you have the horses that Philip Simmons has, it makes it very easy. And speaking of those horses, Asbury, 18 carries for 123 yards in the first half. Williams, 10 carries for 53 yards. So both guys doing a great job of running the football here in the first half.
Asbury's averaging 177 per game. Williams, 139. It's been a weird night. Could it get even weirder? I know Eagles fans at home have got to be excited at the sight of a full moon, hoping for some revolutionary and kind of epic comeback here in the second half. But I know that Coach Bendig likes to paint this town purple. Anybody wearing purple tonight's got to be stoked with the way that their ball club has looked.
And we've seen some crazy endings, not actually on Friday Night Rivals, but I think back to the West Ashley was playing someone, and they were up by either 2 or 3 scores with like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Somebody scored, got an onside kick, went down and scored, got an onside kick again, went down and scored, and like 3 consecutive times and came back to win the football game. So it's not over. It's we've seen crazier things happen.
I was going to say, and let me tell you, that man right there, he is not satisfied with this 23-point lead. He knows his colleague, his friend.
Well, the message needs to be, guys, play like it's 0-0. Yeah. We're up 20. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Play like it's a one-possession game. We need to take our game even higher than what we had in the first half, because you know this Beaufort team is not going to lay down in the second half.
Well, Sam Crocker looks to fire another touchback into the back of the end zone. Our second half is underway. He'll do just so. It skies over the head of Isaac Smalls. And you talk about game plan, 0-0 for Philip Simmons. Talk about a Beaufort club that loves to run the football, an all-region running back in Jaden Andrews. Does their game plan change? Obviously, knowing that they didn't really control the rock in that first half, you're starting to count possessions?
Well, I don't know if you necessarily, because, again, you still have 2 quarters. However, you have to have a sense of urgency. So you can't allow the play clock to, get down under 5. So you have to be ready to rock and roll, play with a little tempo. Let's see if Mr. Bonds can get going here in the second half.
Samari Bonds kicks it to Jaden Andrews, and he's blasted through that offensive front. He's run away from the secondary. Talk about a dream start for Beaufort. The all-region running back, our player to watch tonight, Jaden Andrews. He is a 75-yard touchdown brought to you by Trident Technical College.
Well, that's a good way to start the second half. Both teams off to a quick start, had the ball to start their respective halves. Obviously, Philip Simmons with the long sustained drive that ended in a touchdown. First play, and we talked about it, the most important thing was the score on this opening possession. Whatever Coach Liebren said over there at the half clearly worked, and the Eagles are on the board.
When he talked with our third member, the crew trooper, Bob, he's pretty emphatic in his delivery. I think the message was heard. Beaufort looks like they'll go for 2. Andrews fighting for as many extra yards as possible, but a huge stop up front. That was Denarius Washington, the first on attack. They keep the 2 off the board, but that 6 came in a hurry from Jaden Andrews.
Well, if Philip Simmons thought this game was over, now they realize that it's not. And if you're Coach Bendig, you're like, see, guys, I told you, the game is not over. They're not going to lay down. They're too well coached of a football team to just go by the wayside. So big run by Andrews to start it off. And now the question is, can Beaufort on the defensive end be able to come up with a 3 and out and get the ball back to their offense?
Well, we told you. 31 all-purpose yards in that first half. Jaden Andrews, he just doubled it in 1 carry. Talk about putting your team on the back. This Eagles ball club.
We talked all night about the Philip Simmons offensive line. We got to give Beaufort their due on that particular run. That was a pretty big hole. He went untouched, and then the speed of Andrews to simply split the secondary, outrun them to the end zone. That was a heck of a run by Jaden Andrews, the senior.
See, KJ Asbury's itching to get back on to the gridiron as Brendan Ford, the kickoff man. Got to imagine they'll kick away from the scary number 21. Ford gets ready to deliver, and it looks like it'll be another pooch kick. Be caught around the 40 by the front man. That was number 26, TJ Walker, the junior. First time we said his name tonight. Nice little return to the 42. We get to brag about it a lot. We'll show you another look at that Jaden Andrews run. Just right up the gut.
What a block by Emmanuel Williams, the senior guard. On a nice kick-out block, was pulling from the left side. Did a nice job getting a hat on a hat, and it was clear sailing for Mr. Andrews.
We talked about kind of that second level. Those linebackers have been so good for Philip Simmons this year. But those front 5 kind of pushing into the second level.
What a shot by our TEC rental guy, that end zone shot. That's the beauty of having the scissor.
Well, Philip Simmons are back on the ground, but you're right. TEC Equipment Rental, the friendliest name in equipment rental. We really do have the best crew here, man. I mean, the unbelievable camera shot. You see the cut back. I mean, that's going to be film that Jaden Andrews holds on to for the rest of his life.
Nice stop by Robert Johnson, the 6'2 senior defensive end. I don't know about you, Jack. It feels like momentum is starting to maybe swing over to the green and white.
I was going to say, there's no panic in Bendig's bunch, but urgency without question. The opposing sideline. Great push up front. It was number 56, Jaden Simmons. Simmons has been a superstar on both sides of the football for Beaufort. First time we really said, but look at the initial push up front.
Offensive line's been putting in work all night. Good stiff arm. And imagine that. Isaac Smalls coming up with another tackle tonight. He has been all over the field, doing a good job for this Eagle defense.
That was defensive assignment football, right? He's been ISO on the outside. He uses the sideline as a second defender. Great play.
I think we must have missed the penalty flag as the officials have pushed it back to the, looks like the 34-yard line, Jack.
I know I probably should have shut my yapper and tried to cue in, but I don't think we had a call on the field. Based off of the 10 yards back, it must have been a hold at the scene of the crime. This is going to make it a 3rd and mile for Tavian Orellana. You're going to bounce it to the outside. It's Asbury, a stiff arm. But again, there's Smalls on the outside.
Oh, that's a late hit. Yeah, that's a costly penalty there by Robert Johnson. Just sang his praises on the play before. The runner definitely well out of bounds. He came out of nowhere. And unfortunately, that was 2nd down and probably about 20-25. And because of that penalty, it's going to give the Iron Horses an automatic first down. As we take a look right there, that late hit is the one that's going to give them the first down.
Every time, right? A great job by Sam Blackman to shed the blocker. Johnson, he's playing till he hears the whistle, but that's a crucial mistake. And you're right, I misspoke. They replayed 2nd down, which made it 2nd and 20, but this, obviously, a huge play for Philip Simmons to get back on time with the chains.
The play was over, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 40. 15-yard penalty, the down counts, 3rd down.
Oh, so it's not an automatic first down.
That was James Denton slowed to his feet. And before this crucial 3rd down and short, we're going to kick it down to our 3rd man of the crew, Trooper Bob, another guest interview.
Right. You remember Dan Menken, assistant principal, athletic director, told us how important it is for parents to help out during the game. Well, I found one of those parents, Kendra. She's down here taking pictures. She's also been over there at the concession stands. You're all over the place. Tell us exactly what you're doing tonight.
Well, I'm actually here taking photos right now, but I started a booster club for football. And so I kind of run. I'm a jack of all trades. I do a little bit of everything.
So you have a student here, and then?
I do. I have a junior, and then I have a sophomore at Carolina who graduated from Philip Simmons.
But you're still here helping out. How important is it for parents to be here and support the school and the kids?
It's absolutely vital. Parent involvement is so needed, and it's really appreciated by students and the faculty. We'd love to have more volunteers, but it's a vital part of what we do here.
Well, keep up the good work. Thank you for all that you do, and I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, these Philip Simmons parents are going to have a lot to cheer about after another huge Sherrod Williams first down pickup. That first down brought to you by Mr. Sparky. It was about a 7-yard gain, and I believe we saw another late hit at the end of the play.
Yeah, as you can see, they're marking it off right now. That's going to put them just outside of the red zone. So the discipline that these teams have to play with, unfortunately, not on display right now for Bryce Lieberman, has his team with 2 personal foul penalties on the same drive. And just like that, the Iron Horses back in scoring range.
9:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 2 crucial late hit plays that have spurred this Iron Horse drive on. Asbury out of the Wildcat picks up about 4.
Yeah, almost a fumble there. Didn't catch the snap cleanly, but able to corral the football, hold on to it.
See, that was
almost lost his footing as well.
That was Robert Johnson flying to the backfield, kind of blowing it up from the jump. You can see almost defensively, they've put 5, 6, 7 guys now on the box trying to combat this rushing attack of the Iron Horses.
It's almost like you want to force them to throw the football and see if they can beat you. They've had some success as we see the wild horse formation here once again, as Asbury will take the snap, we believe.
18 for 145 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. No wonder they line him up at Wildcat again. He hands to Sherrod Williams. But anytime you can get 21 the ball in space, their quarterback, receiver, slot. In the reverse game we saw in the first half, Asbury, 6 foot, 200 pounds. But we talked about the catapult technology. It shows these kids how fast they're running, how many miles, endurance. He was clocked at running 23 miles per hour, Coach Bendick told us this week.
Yeah, that's out there in Jack Longchomp's range. Up there at 23 miles per hour.
Let me tell you, I'm not driving that fast in my car, good sir.
But now, as you see, they're going strictly him at quarterback here. Again, it's just all about the options. Will he get it? Or will
How do you honor it? Well, he breaks a couple tackles. He looks like he's going to explode in the end zone. A nice tackle by Dom Camacho in the secondary. But we do have another yellow hanky. It's like a little bit of ping pong with the penalties this third quarter.
And apparently, based on the reaction of the Philip Simmons
Personal foul,
offensive lineman.
Waist, offense number 58, 15-yard penalty, third down.
You see Eric Bendig right there just thinking we're just killing ourselves. We do something good, we take one step forward, and we take 2 steps back with the penalties. That is something that he'll be able to coach his team through when they watch the film. If they're fortunate enough to hold on and get this win tonight, that's the one area that they can improve on. Guys, we got to get better. Can't have the silly penalties.
Especially in region play, right? Want to give kudos to this is a new officiating crew for us here at FNR. They've done a great job of not only kind of making sure that the field of play, obviously very clean on both sides. A great job, I think, explaining to viewers at home what they saw at chop block up front. I believe it was on the center, Daniel Scarth.
Look for
back it up.
Go to Troy Williamson there. No, they're going to keep it on the ground.
KJ Asbury, he's going to pick up about 11. A nice tackle, backside pursuit. Number 17 of Beaufort. That's James Denton.
What a luxury when you have third down and forever, and you can just simply run and pick up the bulk of it. That's when you know your run game is definitely running on all cylinders.
I say not only running a third and long or second and long, they're running all downs, and the other team knows it's coming. It just can't be stopped.
What will be interesting here is 4th and 18. We saw them in this similar situation in the first half. They elected to put the ball in the air. They're on the left hash mark.
Well, they do. It is 4th and 10. They've got number 13. That's Michael Spignardo lined up at the bottom of the screen. He will drop back to pass. The rush late. They do find Spignardo. He's tackled by Denton. Will he have enough for a first down?
Looks like it's going to be close. Whew. And if you look at it, we see the replay. He actually had Sherrod Williams coming out of backfield wide open there in the flats. As you'll see right here, you see Williams at the top of the screen. If he throws it right there, look, there's no one there. Just put the ball up in the air and let him go and get it. Nice catch made by Spignardo, but it'll depend on the spot.
It looks like they had his knee down. He wasn't able to extend for the first down. Great pressure up front. That was Jaden Simmons again. He's been an X factor in this second half. A great look from Spignardo, but again, like you said, at film study, he's going to see that he may have had another second touchdown off the board.
And that's one of those timing situations. You got to know, you got to do your pre-read, and you saw that there was no one there. Simply just have to get the ball out of your hands.
Well, despite a couple crucial penalties on that Beaufort defense, who has been on the field, I said 17 minutes in the first half, they're able to get off with just under 7 minutes left here in the third quarter. How does the offense respond? They go back to the ground with Andrews.
And boy, if they can get a score here in this third quarter, you talk about this shifting, the momentum, I should say, shifting towards this Beaufort Eagle football team.
It's Andrews again out of the backfield. They go to a bit of a counter run. This time he picks up about 10. Good enough for another Mr. Sparky's first down. It's all Jaden Andrews here this third quarter.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Coach Liebran has done a nice job of challenging his squad there at the half and telling them, much like Coach Bendig, as you see here on the counter play. Andrews, great blocking by the offensive line. Nice down the field blocking on that play by Jaden Priester, the big tight end.
Just a sophomore. Priester, 5'10", 215. I was going to say it. He's going to count that as a pancake when he goes back and does his film study tonight. Oh, how about the play out of the backfield? Denarius Washington just outside the reach of those big mitts. That was going to be a walk-in pick six.
Yeah, I guess as they say, that's why they're on defense. If they had better hands, they'd be on offense. And he's going to hate that because that could have been his opportunity to shine in the end zone, but a good job of getting his hands up in the passing lanes and batting it down.
Great pressure on the quarterback. That's Gunnar Yoakum. He's the long snapper. He plays a little nose tackle, plays on the outside as well. Yoakum, an incredible story we'll touch on here in a bit. This time Bonds will keep on the option play. Gunnar Yoakum, a guy that's actually playing his 5th year of high school football. He was diagnosed with cancer early on. Wasn't able to play. Transfers over to Philip Simmons. Was a little bit of a back and forth affair between the South Carolina High School Associate Board. Able to get it right, in my opinion, allowing him to play.
We've seen situations in the past with the high school league where they unfortunately have not gotten it right. This time they get it right, and happy to see that young man getting another opportunity to play high school football.
Jaden Andrews falls forward for about 5 yards. There's so many people done incredible stories on Yoakum. He's a long snapper for this Philip Simmons team. He was their defensive player of the week a week ago. He's not only making an impact, but just to enjoy these moments as he's really worked his tail off to be out here. So just, again, one of those high school football stories where it just means more.
Well, and that's what it's all about, high school athletics. You know, being able to play, understand everyone's not fortunate enough to play at the next level. So, you know, make the most of it. That's what he's doing with his with his second opportunity.
A little bit of a bobble snap, and you can see the athleticism of Samari Bonds on full display. It looked like it was going to go for a loss. He's able to dash out to the outside for about a 5-yard pickup.
So you got to watch the ball all the way into your hands. That could have been not good had that one gone through his hands. But again, those situations, the most important thing, make sure you get control of the football and then just get what you can. But just make sure you give yourself another opportunity on second down.
Well, this time he does hand it off. He finds Jaden Andrews again. Andrews finds a big hole. That's about a pickup, about 17.
Nice tackle by Colton Kellerman. If there's a penalty flag or an injured player who has an injured eagle on the field.
Again, we don't want to speculate on injury. I haven't been able to see a number yet. It does look like an offensive lineman. It almost looks like he may have gotten folded up on as that hole was created. It looks like that is number 71, David Robinson, down as they tend to the big fella. We're going to take a break with him down on the field. Philip Simmons, 23, Beaufort, 6. We'll be back in just a few. As we welcome you back into Low Country, there's a reason. We've got a face for radio up here. There's a reason this camera doesn't look in here, but we do want to shout out this guy right here, Andrew Miller. He's our stat guy tonight, man.
Just crushing it with the stats. But, Mom, I made it. I'm on TV.
Mom. Oh, we got Texas, Kansas at 3:30 tomorrow. I got to give him a hook 'em. But Andrew Miller just supports. Jaden Andrews now has eclipsed 150 rushing yards. By the way, he did it all in the third quarter.
Yeah, but he got off to a slow start, but he seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on here in the third quarter.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't go fix it. They hand it back to Andrews. Another pickup of about 5.5. We told you, he's up to about 156 yards rushing now. The senior in all-region selection a year ago. Entered tonight. 83 carries for 632, 7.6 a pop, and 105 a game. How about 12 touchdowns now? Andrews, he said, hey, there's another running back to talk about here tonight, guys.
And it's almost like it's 180 of what we saw in the Cane Bay game. In the Cane Bay game, remember, Beaufort got out to an early start, and it was Cane Bay that kind of came back and pulled away in the fourth quarter. So far, it's been all Eagles here in the third as Andrews just continues. He may just carry the ball 30 times tonight because he is in – he's just in his basket. You know, he's got it right now. He's feeling it.
He's in his bag. That's another Mr. Sparky first down. You see, look at just the push up front.
Look at 51. Just pulling, just looking for someone to block. The offensive line, The third quarter has been all Eagles.
And to your point, the pulling right guard, that was Trunai Chaplin Walton. That's a big senior right guard, man. And all of a sudden, that front's starting to have their way. This time in the backfield, Andrews has got nowhere to go. What a tackle. Denarius Washington. We told you that offensive front for Beaufort's been good, but Washington, he's been spectacular in the second half.
And sometimes you need that type of play to kind of get them off schedule. They've been doing such a great job kind of getting in rhythm, starting to feel the ground game. And again, still plenty of time left. You got 3 minutes and 34 seconds left. You got to think if Beaufort they're going to need, because it's right now it is still a 3-possession game. So they got to get something here, I would think, here before the third quarter ends.
We see an aerial attack. It's Amari Patterson at the top of the screen. Darrell the pass and Jamin Odom at the bottom. And on cue, I think we were about to see the first pass attempt on this drive. But a penalty will delay.
And Bonds throws a nice ball. You give him some time.
Dead
let
ball,
him put some
encroachment.
He can deliver it.
Number 79, neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's actually the second encroachment call that we've seen on the big right tackle. Kenshawn Speaks. Great size, 6'4", 289. A heady player, a bright future, but the young sophomore with his second mental mistake.
And when you're trying to get yourself back into a game, those are the mistakes you just can't afford to have.
Well, they go to a little bit of an option. Bonds will opt to keep, and he gets back the yards they lost. They're now facing about 3rd and 10 as he picked up 7 on the keeper.
Trying to see, looked like Washington was on the stop, had some help. Couldn't quite catch the number of his teammates. As we take a look here, once again, nice job pulling.
Washington solo all by himself.
Oh, yeah.
It was Gant and Bryce Smalls on the outside containing the corner. Bryce Smalls and Josh Gant, 2 senior linebackers that have been.
And this has to be 2-down territory.
Absolutely. 2:35 to go in the third quarter. Bonds in the third shotgun. Yeah, they're going to hand it to Andrews. Andrews, he's going to carry Smalls for about 2 or 3 after a total pickup about 7 to make it a much more fourth and manageable.
Well, in the first half, we saw Philip Simmons here. Again, nothing fancy here. Guys getting hats on, pushing those guys in. As Andrews able to turn up the field. In the first half, Philip Simmons had the 2 plays. You give it to 21 or give it to 5. Unfortunately for Beaufort, they only have the 1 play. We're going to give it to 4 and see what he can do. So here you got 4th and 4. He's been the man here in the third quarter. Do they use him as a decoy, or do they continue to go to the bread and butter? Looks like they're going to get in the Wildcat.
4th and 4 out of the Wildcat. He had Robert Johnson as his lead blocker. This is a crucial 4th down if Beaufort wants to get back into this game.
Right foot, left foot, cha-cha slide spot.
This got to be arguably the biggest call of the game. I'll be really interested to see where they spot it. It looks like they have it just past the 15, but they needed to get to the 14. I got to imagine they'll bring the chains out, and they will. What you think? You're the expert upstairs.
I'm going to say short. I'm going to say because the ball's near the 15-yard line, so I'm going to think he came out. I'm going to say he came up short.
Give you another great camera shot at home. The suspense builds. And the fans in purple, they've come to life. Hasn't been a ton to cheer about in the third quarter, but Denarius Washington, the Iron Horses bend don't break. By just inches, they'll get the ball back. With 1:46 in the third quarter, we'll take our final break of the quarter. The Iron Horses with a huge stop on 4th down. They'll get the ball back when we are back in a few. This week's South Carolina Veteran of the Week is Captain Craig Wiggins, Jr. Served in the United States Marine Corps from August 1995 to August 2015. In 2002, he was selected for the Marine Corps Enlisted Commissioning Educated Program, where he attended the Citadel from 2003 to 2007, earning a degree in business administration. Craig is the founder and president of Heel and Toe for Heroes, which is actually a nonprofit whose mission is to support veterans, veterans' families, and veteran organizations. If you want to learn more about Captain Craig Wiggins Jr., visit scdva.sc.gov/Veteran of the Week. You can actually also nominate someone to be recognized as well. South Carolina Veteran of the Week is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Veteran Affairs. One final shout out, and most importantly, thank you for your service, Captain Craig Wiggins Jr.
As always, we appreciate and respect all of our veterans, all that they do to allow us to have this freedom, and more importantly, not more importantly, I should say, but do things like Friday Night Rivals and allow fans and the community to come out, and support the kids, the football team, the band, the cheerleaders. Just a great, specialty, a great dessert that we have here being an American.
We're so thankful for all of our sponsors every week. They allow us to put on these incredible games, but want to again say thank you to South Carolina Department of Veteran Affairs for kind of chipping in and allowing us to shed light on those that really matter, that are protecting our country.
Exactly.
As we introduce the Iron Horse offense back out with a commanding lead late in the third quarter, they go back to the ground, KJ Asbury, and this is where that fourth down stop was so crucial because they can really milk some clock with the best of them.
This will be kind of like Dean Smith back in the day of taking the air out of the basketball. Bendig's content to just run.
I was going to say, you'd call it the four-quarter offense like old Dean Smith, but, if you run it in the first quarter with KJ Asbury out of the shotgun, I think the only difference is instead of snapping it at 15 or 10 seconds, Asbury, obviously out of the backfield as well, Tavian Orlano will make sure to milk it as far down as they can with just a quarter to play.
Yeah, the Eagles, they've got to get the football back as quickly as they can. As you mentioned, as we see the play clocks in both end zones, I'd be surprised if we see the Iron Horses snap the football with anything less, I should say more than 5 seconds, and that one came with exactly 5 seconds left on the play clock.
I was going to say, you see again, look at Sherrod Williams. He was met at the line of scrimmage. He shed a tackler. It was child's play. A pickup of about 20 and almost went for negative yards.
Well, it's that yards after contact, and he refuses to go down. Again, we talk about how hard he runs, refuses running through arm tackles. Again, you see another Eagle trying to tackle shoulder pads. That's not a recipe for success. You got to grab these guys low and take away their legs so that they can't continue on with the football. So nice run that time by Williams.
I was going to say, we bragged about Will Cotting coming in this one, the middle linebacker, leading the Eagles in tackles with 59 coming in. 10 per game, 3 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss. I met him in the A gap. High IQ player, but Sherrod Williams, it's so tough to take down. Good enough for another Mr. Sparky's first down, and that first down run will go for about 4, making it 2nd and 6.
I think when we come back, it'll be the fourth quarter. You see the hands in the air on the Philip Simmons sideline as well as on the field. This is winning time right here, the fourth quarter.
And upstairs as well, too. That clock dwindles. You hear that buzzer. 12 minutes to go. Coach Eric Bendig, his group. Just 12 minutes to go for a 1-0 region start. The reigning champs, well, they'll have something to say about it when we come back. Philip Simmons, 23, Beaufort, 6. It's Preferred Home Services, Final Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome you back into Low Country. It's Preferred Home Services, Fighting Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Before we get things underway, Philip Simmons with that commanding 17-point lead. We kick it down to our third member of the crew. He's got another fun interview for you at home.
Yeah, guys, when you're not seeing me on air, I'm usually talking to the people in the crowds, and I found a proud mom. Number 26. 26 is your son?
That's my baby, TJ Walker.
All right, so you're here watching the game, but you got a lot of family at home watching?
We got a lot of family at home watching, a lot.
All right, so after the game, he's going to be hungry. You got to go get him some food.
I'm going to get him 3 hot dogs.
All right, keep cheering for them. We're so proud of your son and everyone else here, Philip Simmons.
Go Horses!
Proud parents along the gate. They wish they can come on this side, but it's so nice to talk to the crowd and folks you see there during the game. I'll send it back to you guys because I can't hear anything right now. This band is cranking.
How about Trooper Bob, without question, the best interview of the year?
How about the turnover chain? Like mom sporting the turnover chain tonight. And, of course, her son, that being T.J. Walker.
Offense number 5.
Defensive back.
Well, that hold on the outside by Sherrod Williams will force the Iron Horses to face about a 2nd and 15. But my only question is, I give you 3 hot dogs. What are you putting on them?
Ketchup, mustard, and chili. And cheese. And
chili
cheese.
cheese.
Yeah,
Chili cheese. I wonder what TJ Walker, to the Walker family, we appreciate you guys listening in. Send us what TJ's having on the hot dog. I'm curious. I'm really curious.
The question is, where at this time of night is she going to get 3 hot dogs?
I'm thinking that concession stand.
That's true, too.
On, right?
Yeah. It does smell good for sure.
As the Iron Horses face the 2nd and long, they go back to the ground at Sherrod Williams. Williams would be tackled for about a 7-yard gain, but at the end of the play, it looked like a late face mask.
Yeah, Dom Camacho, unfortunately, or I should say on the tackle. Not sure who the face mask penalty was called against. But once again, hard running by the Iron Horses. Both teams, like I said, they just do a nice job, Jack, of not going down initially. To get those legs driving, they refuse to go
Personal
down.
foul.
Like to see
Grasping
in your
and twisting
backs.
the face mask. Defense number 9. This 15-yard penalty is enforced from the end of the run and results in a first down.
I'll tell you, this officiating crew, as we take a look at the Preferred Home Services replay, this officiating crew's done such a great job explaining what they see tonight.
Yeah, and Camacho obviously it wasn't intentional. As you could say, he was being blocked and looked like he reached his arm out to make the
when these
stop.
running backs turn these legs like this, you have to. I'm not saying you intentionally grab it on the face, but you should just grab it on for anything.
Just grab whatever you can to kind of slow them down until your teammates can come and assist, because we all know it's hard, whether it be the running backs of Philip Simmons or Beaufort, to bring them down by yourself.
Well, Orellana's got all day on a little play action. He strolls out to the left. He's chased down. Robert Johnson. His 3rd sack of the season's a big one. It's about a loss of close to 7 or 8. Robert Johnson, 6'2", 220, long, lanky defensive end, man. A high motor play.
Yeah, he was hunting for some horses on that particular play. That's a situation. If you know there's nothing, you just got to take off, make the decision, just take off and run, or run out the pocket and just throw it away to kind of keep the, to keep from losing all those yardage. But the positive is, by taking the sack, however, the clock continues to move.
Like I said, 10:50 to go here in the 4th quarter, a 17-point lead. They now face 2nd and 17, and you are right. They are draining that clock Look to get on. That play clock actually dwindling down. You see 3, 2, 1. Coach Bendig's going to have to take a timeout, and he is beside himself.
Yeah, not sure what happened there.
Low to get back to the huddle after the sack. You talk about obviously wanting to get rid of the ball. It stops the clock, but you don't take the big sack. Just the junior is Tavian Orellana. Maturation process, and he's growing up right in front of our eyes. 10:35 left in the fourth quarter. Philip Simmons leads 23-6.
Up 7-0 in the first. Let me guess. DJ threw a touchdown.
We come back, we're going to go straight to the cheerleader results. Straight to the cheerleader results when we come back.
D. Martinez with the 4-yard. Yes, that's it. DJ 2 for 5, 32 yards.
Oh, wow, we got an upset. I'm going to kick it to you. The home team never wins.
The cheerleading competition.
It's always
the visitors.
Well, folks, I know you've been long awaiting the results for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. It's sponsored by Delta Force Athletics, home of the Delta Force All-Stars, proudly cheering on the LOWCOUNTRY's high school sports. We got an upset.
How
Philip
about
Simmons,
that?
63-37.
I think this is the first time all season that the home team actually wins. I mean, when you look at the home side of Philip Simmons, it's packed. So maybe the people who are Philip Simmons supporters who couldn't get a ticket to get into the game, yes, they stayed home, and that's why they're voting and winning.
I was going to say, Coach Bendig has provided this just immense culture of pride in the black and purple. And even Trooper Bobby gave us that inside look at their favorite cheer, and they walk away with a Delta Force win tonight. Speaking of winning,
and walking away,
Sherrod Williams in the backfield. You're going to win a lot of ball games.
Another nice tackle made there in the secondary by Talik Isom, but the problem is they're making contact 10, 15 yards down the field.
That was about a 12-yard pickup from Sherrod Williams. A nice sweep to the outside will make it about 3rd and 4.
And he just outruns the close to almost being a horse collar there. They don't call a horse collar in high school, but a high tackle. But a nice job of outrunning the defense.
I say another sophomore in that secondary. Talik Isom, Aaron Days, Isaac Smalls, all sophomores. They've been really good tonight, slowing down the passing threat and really tackling on the outside. They go back to Williams, about a 3-yard game. It looks like it'll force a 4th and short.
And it's almost as if now KJ is going to quarterback full-time, and he's now allowing Sherrod Williams to get his shine. So he's the quarterback. I'll hand it off to you 5. You go do your thing, and then we'll switch it up, and I'll have my opportunity as well.
I was going to say, talk about a different look. Tavian Orellana checking out. They bring in their middle linebacker, Josh Gant. Sometimes you see Bryce Smalls back there, too. When they go to that wildcat look, it's the linebacker coming in to lead block.
Which, when you look at his size, 5'10", 175. Not your typical fullback, but he gets the job done.
Pile forward. It's going to be really close, but it looks like it's going to be enough for a first down. He dives forward, plunges forward, however you want to call it. Looks like it'll be enough for a first down, and would have been a critical stop on 4th for this defense to get off the field.
And with every first down, you might as well just take off another 2 to 3 minutes off of the clock, because you know Coach Bendig and his staff, they're going to let the clock go all the way down to under 5. So with every first down, automatically, if you're Beaufort, you have to think, at best, I'll get the ball back with a little over 6 minutes left.
I was going to say, with a 17-point lead, that's a pivotal West Shore home first down, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Why remodel the offense? Coach Bendig, he's found out what's worked for his group. That's a whole lot of KJ Asbury and Sherrod Williams. Oh, how about that tackle? Asbury looked to cut it upfield, and there he is, Will Cotting. The junior middle linebacker lays the boom.
Kind of has that looked kind of like Luke Kuechly back in the day for this middle linebacker, just tough, nasty, not afraid to put his, and with a last name like Cotting. I mean, that's just like a linebacker name. That was a big hit by number 5.
All he's missing is the neck roll, right? To be that prototypical middle linebacker. That Alstott neck roll. It's his 8th tackle for a loss on the season for Cotting.
And these Eagles, they're not quitting. They're going to play to the end. They're determined to keep the Iron Horses out of the end zone.
Yeah, Coach Liburn will be pretty proud of his defensive group, how resilient they were. A lot of adjustments made in the second half. You said it was a really creative defensive group. As you can see, they've just done anything to try to slow down these backs.
Nice tackle. Nice job of stepping up. We saw a replay of Cotting on the previous play. But, yeah, you're right. He challenged them. They definitely won the second half, but it just seems like it's a little too late. Just kind of dug too deep of a hole there in the first half.
You know, Coach Librarian told us, he said, when you game plan for a team like Philip Simmons, it's almost like that Spider-Man meme. It's like looking at yourself in the mirror as you see Asbury. He'll keep it on this one. He bounces it to the outside, breaks a tackle, and it'll be enough. He crosses that pylon for another try-to technical touchdown tonight. They've been running out of that Wildcat. It's a hybrid offense, and when KJ Asbury's in the game, fans in purple are ecstatic.
Just nothing fancy there. Just snap it to me directly. Everybody take off left. A couple of kick-out blocks there at the top of the screen, and then Asbury does the rest as he turns the corner, takes it to the house as he gallops into the end zone.
Puns have been on point tonight. A great block on the outside from Bryce Ellington. We saw him in the reception in the first half, but he's able to free up KJ Asbury as Asbury pushes that lead out to what now is a missed PAT. A rare miss from Sam Crocker. Actually, his first miss of the season with PAT standpoint. But regardless, see Coach Pending a little frustrated. It's never good enough for a good head coach as his Iron Horses plunder out for a 23-point lead. There's just 7:22 left in the fourth quarter. It's Preferred Home Services. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The second touchdown of the game for KJ Asbury extends the Simmons lead to 23. 173 yards on the ground. He's averaging $177. Is that pretty good, Ever?
I would say I'm not the best at math, but hey, if you got 2 thumbs and you got 177 yards on the ground, that's a job well done by that young man.
And again, so impressive up front. Read him left to right. Quimane Vaughn, Tawan Gibbs, Daniel Scarth, Russell Dickerson, Stephen Pickard. That's the offensive front. 3 underclassmen with Pickard, Vaughn, and Gibbs. I mean, this is a group. They got him, Asbury, in the Wildcat. They know that they're going to go to the ground, and this offensive 5 up front has been able to provide big enough holes for them to continue this run of dominance.
Yeah, because you look at it, Asbury has not attempted a pass at all this season. So that's kind of literally, hey, this is what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do. You can't stop it. Stop it if you can. And give credit to Philip Simmons. Beaufort, for the most part, has not been able to stop them tonight.
Sam Crocker misses his first PAT of the season. Well, he's been perfect on touchbacks tonight. He looks to boom one away. We caught right in front of the end zone, and I jinxed that one too. Smalls on the return. He'll be tackled at around the 16. That third phase of the game has been just as effective as the offensive defensive front.
Corey Steed getting in on the action. We try to shout out as many people as we can. So we've been calling a lot of Iron Horses names tonight. Corey Steed getting his opportunity, the 6-foot junior on the kickoff coverage.
Well, and speak to that. I mean, this is just the 7th year of a program, but they're in their infancy. Yet at halftime, Coach Bendig told Trooper Bobby, we have a lot of guys playing tonight. We're getting a lot of different personnel in. How rare is that for a program like really just kind of getting going?
Well, when you win and you have success, it's really easy to get those numbers up. They've been to the playoffs. They've made it as far as the 3rd round. So when you kind of have that, Coach Bendig, a young, energetic, a guy that can relate to the kids, he talks about, the importance of, showing the kids that you care about them more than just football players, making sure they have on Philip Simmons gear and encouraging them. When you have that type of relationship, people want to play for you, and he's done a great job here at Philip Simmons.
From the Wando grab, Coach Bendig, he went on to play at Presbyterian College. We asked him, how were you able to build this and then such a pride in such a young program? And he kind of talked about incentivizing everything. You got to earn everything here. And then also just kind of when you're the first, you have to be able to create some of these traditions and rivalries and painting the town purple. He said one thing that he kind of attributed to getting big in personnel is Bonds drops back, delivers a bomb down the sidelines. It's the first we've set of Dorrell to pass tonight. That pass leads him out of bounds and will force a 3rd and long.
Look who's on the breakup. I don't think I'd want to throw to Mr. Stevenson's side.
They haven't thrown to his side of the field. I mean, he's a blanket over there.
Literally eliminates half of the field. Bond showing off his arm strength, able to launch it down the right sideline, but Stevenson in good coverage and at that last second able to poke it away. That's why he's a Power 5 commit.
Plays the man, plays the ball. It was actually a good pass. Actually kept the pass in bounds.
And you said, Jack, you've seen him on the basketball floor as well.
Dude, he's got crazy bunnies. As Samari Bonds looks to escape the pocket. He's met by a flurry of black helmets. But, Stevenson, long, right? Doesn't necessarily have crazy height on the court that would stand out. But he was jumping over everybody when we had him in our high school hoops matchup.
So it looks like that's Bryce Smalls. Also, I believe I saw Jabari Taylor in on the stop. A host of black jerseys there for the Iron Horses. And that'll force a 4th down. And unfortunately, Beaufort will have to punt it away. But back to what you were talking about on the hardwood, we've seen a lot. That's the kind of common denominator on most of the teams that we've seen. Guys that play more than one sport. They play football, but they also play basketball. They play baseball. They run track. That's kind of the way the norm is now. And these kids, they're just great athletes.
As we see William Kiesling, that ball is going to fly over his head. The soccer standout isn't able to get it away. It's going to be blocked and swallowed up in the end zone.
That's like Bryce Smalls, I believe.
The 3rd phase. Everett, he heard you bragging about him upstairs, and Bryce Smalls, a special teams play of the night. The Iron Horses up 35-6.
I mean, it's pretty cool what Bryce Smalls did right there in terms of being able to stick with it, the kind of unfortunate snap there. So we'll take a look at the Holy City Heating and Air coolest play of the game. Jack, just being in the right place at the right time.
We provide solutions for every season. Is Holy City Hitting and Air, and Bryce Smalls, he leads this team in tackles. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. He exploded. I know it was a bad snap. He exploded in that backfield, ushering an even bigger lead. This is pretty cool too, though. Troy Stevenson, we're getting another look at that play to break up the 3rd long to even provide the 4th down blocked punt. They've dominated on offense. The defense and spectaculars. They held Beaufort to just that one long run from Jaden Andrews, and now the special teams, they went into the action as well.
Yeah, Smalls getting a little attention right there, a little Charlie horse action. Speaking of horses, Charlie caught Bryce on that one, but he seems to be fine. It's amazing how when you do something positive and you have that energy, no, I'm not hurt. I want to get back on the field, So, but a great play by Bryce Smalls, not only blocking it, being able to recover it and getting on top of it before it rolled out of the back of the end zone would have just resulted in a safety instead of a block punt for a touchdown.
I was going to say, everyone here at Philip Simmons Stadium, kind of everyone held their breath. I know I did upstairs. There's a little hesitation in the call. They swallowed it up. How often do you see punts that leave the foot just directly into the belly?
Exactly. Maybe he had the wind kicked out of him. You got to figure that's not a good feeling to have the ball hit you right in the stomach. But hey, again, you do what you have to do, and that's what I love about this Philip Simmons team. So everybody, they're all about not only themselves but their teammates as well. They want to celebrate together. They want all of their teammates to succeed. And when you have that culture and that mentality, good things are going to happen to your football team.
This kick's boomed away. Isaac Smalls will catch in the end zone, and it's a touchback. 30-point lead from Philip Simmons, and this is how they were able to do it. The coolest play of the game from Holy City Heating Air. It was that block punt.
You see here, had a little motion.
If we could circle him, he's at the top of your screen, right?
So you see Bryce Smalls. Looks like he's uncovered. He does not get touched at all. Runs right by barely. And then you see he stays on it. Locks in. Doesn't give up on the play. Hands up. Block. Fall. Touchdown. Iron Horses. And that's a pretty cool Holy City Heating and Air play.
So we've seen a couple miscues and turnovers for the Eagles. We almost just had another with under 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That ball fell out. It looks like the conversation is up front. Cell number 29.
What?
Philip Simmons, he's talking to the other side.
Well, you know, and I wonder, Jack, did he go down to his knee when he went to pick the ball up?
Yeah, it was Jabari Taylor on the outside. He was curious if they had to down it right away. That's a great point. Bonds back to pass. He's looking for Andrews out of the backfield. And right now, that's Jaden Priester, the tight end, slipping out the side into flats. And right now, Beaufort hasn't been able to get things kind of flowing. Pick up some momentum after the big Jaden Andrews play and just weren't able to kind of capitalize on top of it.
Well, you think about it, they scored. Then it was that ensuing drive is when they had the 2 personal foul penalties. One of them was a situation where it would have been like 3rd down and 20, but because of it, the 15-yard penalty then made it like 3rd and 2 or something short. And then, of course, they got it, and then another. So that's kind of where it kind of got away from them.
Bond steps up, delivers downfield. That's Darrell the pass. Let's see if it'll stand, as there is a penalty in that backfield. And to your point, on brand, another penalty that could draw back the Eagles.
Officials stop and play to make sure they get it correct. These guys have been busy tonight. A lot of airtime for the officials tonight.
And they've been really good in the explanation and how they've been able to deliver. I think sometimes can get a little lost at this level. You know, a lot of these guys, too, I recognize a bunch from officiating on the hardwood as well. Do a great job.
There is no foul. Legal formation. The result of the play is a first down.
They pick up the yellow hanky. That's a big one, I think, from kind of a building upon momentum situation. Darrell the pass, haven't said his name, and Samari Bonds, who looking to kind of build off of last year's success. Can they just go get some points here late in the ballgame?
And that was my point. I was exactly thinking, Jack, in this situation, if you're Coach Liebran, you just want to see your team finish. You're not going to win the football game, but you would like them to treat this situation like, hey, we're down by 6. We got to drive the length of the field to come up with a score. This is a great opportunity to still continue to go through situational and to be able to deliver, because there will be a time later in the season that they will have to come up big in these types of situations. So let's see what they can do here on this final drive here in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 5, Bonds back to pass. Oh, he was looking for the freshman Amari Patterson on a quick slant. Whizzes outside the outreached arm of the talented young freshman.
And you'd like to see Bonds kind of take his time, get his feet set, and deliver. We know he has the arm strength, but it seems like he doesn't step into his throws, kind of thrown off on his heels. So if he could take his time, get his shoulder square, deliver the football, hit his guy in stride as he's running, lead him up the field, that could have been a big play.
I was going to say there was nobody over the top help. It was Patterson on an island with Colton Kellerman. This time, again, just can't get on time with Amari Patterson. Patterson upset with himself.
Got to imagine they keep the offense on the field. He's looking a young freshman's way, and right now, just a little bit of frustration. But to your point, you're going to learn a lot about your guys in this moment. Just the first region game for both of these ball clubs, and will they fold? Will they continue to fight despite the scoreboard?
And they still have a chance in the region. This obviously is going to give the advantage to Philip Simmons, but Beaufort will still have a chance. And what you want to do is you want to be playing your best football going into the playoffs. So this is a learning lesson here. They've had a very challenging schedule. Just got to learn from this and make something happen.
Oh, Patterson and Troy Stevenson. 4th and 5. They needed to keep the drive alive.
Wow.
We told you Stevenson, one of the best corners in the state. And Amari Patterson, a freshman who's already got an offer from the Division I school, the New Mexico Lobos. Well, he shows you why.
Wow, I thought Stevenson came down with the interception.
I did too.
I think he just got mossed.
Oh, my.
Because Stevenson was, yes, well, Stevenson was, he had the inside position, so, wow, what a catch.
4th and 5, he's looking for number 15's way again. He gets flattened in the backfield. Denarius Washington. A nice quarterback hurry.
Yeah, the Iron Horse is bringing the heat. Not going to allow him to get comfortable back there in the backfield. But, yeah, man, if we get an opportunity, I want to see that play again because I could have sworn Stevenson came up with the pick and out of nowhere.
Yeah, Coach Librand talked a lot about Amari Patterson. It's just like how high of a cewing has. They've lost some studs on the outside last year. Got a couple guys at the Division I level. Casey Fields has been really good for South Carolina State. Guy at Newberry. Amari Patterson, they think, could be their next dude. Bonds is looking his way again. Another quick slam up the middle of the field. It looks like it bounces innocently in front of Patterson, and in coverage was TJ Walker. Whatever, it looks like we're going to get our wish and get another look at the You Got Moss play tonight.
So you see, again, throwing off his back foot. That's a one-on-one, little nudge there, and wow, what a catch. And I love that was a no call. No, exactly. Right? That's just two great athletes going at each other that time. Obviously, the advantage went to Mr. Patterson, but a great play by the freshman.
Bonds is joining the backfield by Andrews. This time they go to a quick screen on the outside, and looks like it just slipped right outside the fingers. Samari Bonds is derailed the pass was the intended target.
Yeah, throwing across the hash marks. Tough throw, and potentially the Eagles down to their final play.
It's 36-6 with 3:41 to go. 2 yards out. The TEC Equipment Rental red zone. Do they have one more 4th down magic play?
Well, Samari Bonds, you always have a chance when he has the football.
Well, it's another fade to the back of the end zone. He's looking for Patterson. And that pass will draw him out of bounds.
Yeah, that's when you got to throw in play.
Got to give him a shot.
Yeah, so you can go up and at least try to high point the football. But when you throw it, out of bounds, you don't really allow. And a good job by the secondary pushing them towards the sideline so that he didn't have a lot of room to maneuver. So you can see here, nice spiral. But, yeah, just too much to the left. And that'll be
in coverage was TJ Walker. He's going to be excited to have those 3 hot dogs after the
ball game.
Exactly.
It might have been a situation. Mom said, hey, you don't come up with a play. No hot dogs for you.
Samari Bonds looks on. We're going to show you our Lou Gray. Never stop learning. Learning stop of the game. Will Lou Gray never stop learning? There's a couple of really big-time defensive plays, but Mike Garnett, this was the big one.
Oh, look at the big guy, just tracking him down. Got a little bit of help from his teammate, Jabari Taylor, but in the end, it was the big guy moving, getting after it.
Jabari Taylor's 2nd sack of the season. He really laid the boom, but it wouldn't have been possible. The big push up front from Mike Garnett. I wouldn't want to get in the way of Garnett.
No. We got that guy chasing me down. That was the Will Lou Gray stop of the game.
By the way, the headset just came off. You want to talk about coaching till the end of the ball game? Every play is a learning opportunity for Eric Bendig and his bunch.
But it's these situations where it's not going to hurt you because you're up by 30. What if it's 36-35 and you're trying to run the clock out? You have those types of mistakes. That's when it becomes crucial. So you got to correct it now. And as they always say, you don't want to coach the scoreboard. You want to coach the actual game. Don't worry about the score is. You still have to demand excellence from your players.
As we see the two deep personnel getting put to work. Some younger Iron Horses getting some action. You know, it's interesting, too. We talked about how they haven't really been challenged yet this year, and they played some good ball clubs. They've just been this good. When you walk away and you try to nitpick the film, you got to know that Coach Benning's going to be really excited about this group. Johnson looking to snap it early. This time it's TJ Walker. Walker with the defensive play, trying to make an impact on the other side of the football.
Hot dog, look at that guy run down the left sideline.
About a 35-yard pickup from TJ Walker. He said, hot dog, hot diggity dog.
What a run here. Again, just great field vision. Bounces it outside, running through tackles. He saw those hot dogs down the sideline, and he was running for daylight. And as he's pushed out of bounds, man, if TJ actually scores a touchdown, he might get 4 hot dogs with a side of fries.
Chili cheese on those fries, too, for TJ Walker. A nice tackle by Brendan Ford to stop that touchdown. Your mom's wearing the turnover chain for TJ Walker, but she might have to hand over the chain if TJ keeps putting the rock like this.
That might be the touchdown chain if he gets free here again.
He go back on the ground. Walker wisely cuts it back upfield. Tackle for a gain of a loss. You know, this is a really interesting point. Troy Stevenson has gotten some carries out of the backfield this year. Obviously, we've talked about the dynamic duo of KJ Asbury and Sherrod Williams. All 3 guys with significant carries in the backfield, all seniors. TJ Walker in that backfield, just a junior. Is this an early tryout to maybe being the guy in the backfield next year?
Well, you know, you just got to put in your time now. So you learn from those 2. You see how to do it, how to be that guy. And next year he won't have to share the spotlight with either of them. So, yeah, he's just showing what he can do, making the most of his opportunity.
Tavian Orellana, been so impressed by him. So much love for these running backs. As this is the first we're seeing of Makai Carson, the senior receiver and running back, who's tackled for about a 2-yard loss. Great play in the backfield from James Denton. But I think the quarterback in this situation, oddly enough, hasn't gotten enough love because they just haven't played in close ball games where they've needed him to air it out. But when he's been called upon, he delivered on that big strike to Troy Stevenson. He's been good when called upon.
And it might not be region play, Jack, but eventually the further they go in the playoffs, yes, he will face 8, 9-man fronts where he will have to throw the football. So you're right. As of now, he's not had to. He's done his job, which is lead this team, which he's obviously done well. Another win. That's their 7th in a row this season. They'll remain undefeated or stay undefeated. But you're right. Yeah, no need to throw it when you have those horses behind you that you can give every single time.
You said galloping on the gridiron. And I got to imagine when we see this Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game, Cruz Chevrolet on the river, it's just north of Northwoods Mall. You got a friend at Chevy with the galloping Iron Horses. They got a friend in number 21, KJ Asbury.
Yeah, KJ Asbury's got a friend in terms of those front guys in front of him, those 5 offensive linemen that open those gaping holes that he's been running through all, not only night long, but all season long. But yeah, nice drive. You think back to that opening drive of the game where it was all running down the field, capped it off with a touchdown. So yes, nice job by Philip Simmons. And yes, they do have a friend in the car business.
Man, you're so good at those reads, man. Just like, the Iron Horses are so good at running the football. They'll line up in victory formation with just 38 to go. Head coach Eric Bendig in his 7th season, he's building a powerhouse. They were just ranked inside the top 10 for the first time this season. In 2021, they were region champs. That man right there, he was the state coach of the year. Last year, 7-4, but they're building something special, building something great. He's a disciple of Bob Hayes. That's his mentor. And as he meets head coach Library in the middle of the field, special kind of moment.
Yeah, his good buddy there. That's always difficult. You never want to beat your buddy, but so much respect to the up-and-coming, brightest young coaches here in the Low Country, doing a great job. Obviously, Coach Lebrand got that title last year. Coach Bendig wants the title this year. Thought it was going to be it was a good game, but just in the end, just too much horses. And Philip Simmons had too many horses for the Eagles.
Man, I'm telling you, it was a good football game. I think everyone here kind of expected it to be a really tight matchup, but they controlled the rock. The time of possession for the guys in purple, just too much tonight.
Yeah, it was just too much to overcome, and I think Philip Simmons did a nice job of setting the tone with that opening drive, and from there, it was just all Philip Simmons. They had that one break in the third quarter, but other than that, too much Philip Simmons tonight.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to take our final break of the night. Philip Simmons with a 30-point victory, but don't go anywhere when we come back. We're going to have our Preferred Home Services Player of the Game and our trophy presentation brought to you by All-American Awards. Do you just quick head down to him, or are we going to do? What did you say we're going to do? The player first, or what do you think? Okay. Okay.
Never thought I'd say this, but can't wait to fall out when I get out this press box. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. I mean, it's like iceberg. You know, you would think it would kind of negate it.
We welcome you back into the Low Country for the final time tonight. It's the trophy presentation time, sponsored by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993 for the past 7 years. The excellence here at Philip Simmons on full display. We await head coach Eric Bendig. We'll speak with Trooper Bob. Looks like they're ready. It's Coach Bendig and Trooper Bob are ready to roll.
All right. Yeah. KJ Asbury right here, number 21, standing next to the coach, player of the game. Coach, your offense didn't stop scoring in the second half. How proud are you of your team?
It was a total effort. I mean, unbelievable kids, unbelievable coaches. I just sit here and make sure we got buses and have the schedule. They do all the good work here. So proud of them. I love them to death. I mean, what a team. What a team win. You know, I mean, I can't say enough about these guys.
Big props for your defense, too. They only allowed 6 points, and they held them in the whole first quarter.
Yeah, those guys out there were balling. Coach Renner did a great job with a great plan, but those guys on the field did an unbelievable job, and I was so proud of them.
Proud of you, proud of your team. I'm going to give you your Preferred Home Services player award here. Here we go. Congratulations, guys. Now you can celebrate.
Trooper Bob had to escape out of the way. Word of the night.
We didn't want him to get trampled.
Galloped on.
Galloped on by the Iron Horses.
Here's the word of the night, Everett. Coach Bender gave it to us. Ballin'.
Yeah, big
got
ballin'.
the horses big ballin'. I'm telling you, all three phases of the game. What was so impressive about this group, especially on their march to a state championship?
Yeah, I just think, like you mentioned, I mean, they checked every box. Our first time seeing them offensively, they can run the football. Didn't necessarily see them throw the football, but the couple times that they did, they definitely look good doing that. Defensively, take away that one play, the 80-yard run to start the second half. They were pretty swarming out of that. And so, yeah, all in all, and then, of course, special teams. They had the punt block for a touchdown, 361 yards. I mean, golly, 448 total yards. That is total domination by this Philip Simmons team. The penalties, they'll have to clean that up. Time of possession, you double Beaufort in that category as well. So, again, if I'm Eric Bendig, I am very pleased with my performance tonight. Guys, let's clean up the penalties. Let's continue to not have the letdown that we had on that one play. Otherwise, job well done, fellas.
That's the number I'm circling, that time of possession. And to me, KJ Asbury is so fitting. He gets into the end zone a couple of pair of times. Dominant.